Today, putting an end to any question about his availability for Sunday's AFC Championship game against the Bengals. Ready to go. Mahomes has continued to get treatment on his high ankle sprain. He said the ankle has progressed. He is taking part in today's practice. Considering he's 0-3 in his career versus his Cincinnati counterpart Joe Burrow, Sunday is big for Mahomes, explains our Harry Douglas.
His legacy is already cemented. Now you want to start adding things to it. And when I mean adding things to it, what's on the line for Patrick Mahomes within this ball game? You get another opportunity to go play for a second Super Bowl that you want to add to your resume. You get an opportunity to keep that crown that you now wear, because it's not Joe Burrow's, it is Patrick Mahomes. You get an opportunity to keep that crown.
Harry Douglas of Fitz and Harry. Mahomes, Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, Bengals QB Joe Burrow, Bills QB Josh Allen, and Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson, all finalists for AP 2022 NFL MVP. NBA Anthony Davis in line to return to the Lakers from a foot injury tonight versus the Spurs, reports ESPN's Dave McMenamin.
We all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time your car breaks down, don't call it quits. Head to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Green. That's green. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We come to you live, as always, from the Ingles Studio. It is a Wednesday afternoon here in the Ingles Studio, and you can get us everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Take us with you everywhere you go, and, of course, see us live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link in the middle of the page. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat each and every day and get those live alerts whenever we are here in the studio. Now, we will have full coverage, full live reactions this Sunday from both of the AFC and the NFC championship games.
We're already taking wagers on how many domestic lights will Jeremy have during this telecast. The line is 14.5, and I feel like that is easy money.
Over!
Yeah, I feel like that's easy money.
Yes, indeed it is.
HWA will be here, and she will also be my ride back to the place where we live. So you do with that information what you will.
Live reactions, playoff games. We got a lot of great reaction from it last year. Obviously, things have happened in the first 2 weekends of football here that we haven't been able to do those, but we will be doing all of the championship action for you on Sunday. And yes, the NFL show continues here because we are just counting down the days, or I guess the hours now, until the championship games. Plus, we've got teams still trying to decide who their coaches is. Are you surprised, Jeremy, that nobody's named a coach yet?
No, we started talking about this last year, that teams were going to take longer in the process because you had started seeing teams do that to make sure they got the right guy. It never made a whole lot of sense that you would hire a coach in the divisional round of the playoffs. You can't hire a coach that's their team's still playing. So it really diminishes the field. None of it shocks me. I do think you're going to see one hired by the end of the week, though, and that's probably a good place to start us off.
It is time for the opening drive, and it's always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Go to 629 Brevard Road. That's where the showroom's at. You can go by there, check out their stock of brand new cars. So you can also and SUVs and trucks and all the things. And, of course, they have a great stock of certified pre-owns that they will put you in.
I am currently in a brand new Frontier, which has become I feel like that's just mine. That's what I drive. I'm a truck guy now. Does it make a lot of sense for me? I don't know.
No.
Not because I don't do a lot of handy things, but it does come in great handy to have a bed of a truck for when you have to move copious amount of things, which I do.
Well, and it suits you. It suits you. Look, you don't have to be Mr. Hollett to have a pickup truck. In fact, I
look like a guy that if you didn't know me, you would think that guy can probably fix something.
Uh-huh.
You just wouldn't know that it's your computer or your modem or your computer things, because I don't really look like that.
Yeah, no, you don't. But you would think, big burly guy like you would haul stuff. But I did see, I think it was Reuters had a poll out the other day that said something like 80% of, shocker of shockers, millennial pickup truck drivers never haul a single thing. You're kidding. Really?
Yeah, that's because we're coming to a time where nobody's going to be able to fix anything, and that terrifies me because I'm one of those people that can't fix anything.
That's because, Jeremy is the kind of guy that he'll have a pickup truck, he could have a box truck, he could have a 53-foot trailer. He's still hiring somebody to move all his stuff.
Without a doubt. No doubt. I am beyond the age of pizza and beer. I will consume both, but not to help you move anything.
We've got teams trying to make their decision on their head coaches. We've got 5 openings in the NFL, and none of them have been filled to this point. It is kind of surprising to me that not one domino has fallen yet. However, there are reports out today that the Denver Broncos could make a decision today on their head coaching position.
That's a really nice way of saying they could hire Sean Payton today, because if he says no, it's back to the old drawing board. And if you want to know how in on Sean Payton they were, Rob Walton, one of the owners of this team, went on a hunting trip that he didn't come back from until today. Weird. That's the first day they could give Sean Payton a second interview.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people going, this is embarrassing that our owner is not even here for the – calm down. All right, read the tea leaves. What that should tell you is that nothing could transpire while he was gone that he would care about in the least. What that means is that Sean Payton is basically Denver Broncos or back to Fox.
The Carolina Panthers are down to second interviews. They got 3 candidates that they're bringing in for second interviews. We'll tell you who those are in just a second. We've got the Indianapolis Colts also scheduling second interviews or completing second interviews with a few candidates. So we'll have the full update on that for you. We've got, I'm sure we'll get into at some point the finalists for all the NFL awards. Those were announced today, and it was cute that Justin Jefferson got a nod for MVP.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's doing stuff.
Yeah, let's go, Justin Jefferson. Show up to the MVP award. Oh, yeah, you're not going to win that.
We got an update on the Patrick Mahomes injury. Joe Burrow and the rest of the Cincinnati Bengals seem to be getting under people's skin a little bit more than usual, and it was already mentioned in our Discord chat, I believe, earlier today that some of our Sportsocracy faithful hate Joe Burrow now. So
you always hate people that are good.
Yeah. Are they becoming the new target for all the vitriol in the NFL? Discuss that coming up. But the Carolina Panthers, that's the news we'll start with. Second interviews, there's 3 candidates for the head coaching position.
And when I say them, you're going to go, okay, no.
And they start with
Frank Reich.
Okay.
He's doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. The second one is Steve Wilkes. No. And then the third one, and this is the one that intrigues me the most, is Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore.
What? Wait, what? Why?
I don't know.
Look, Kellen Moore was one of the top names in the last head coaching cycle. But I feel like after this past season, especially with the way it ended, it's not really I mean, I guess the arguments for Kellen Moore would be this team still won. They still moved the ball.
But
kinda.
did they win it because of? Did they win anything because of Kellen Moore?
That's what I was saying. They kind of moved the ball when Cooper Rush was playing quarterback. They scored enough points to win. But is that the genius that is the offensive mind of Kellen Moore?
Look, I think he's a decent enough candidate in the right spot. Do I think that spot is Carolina? Oh, good God, no. No, if that's the three you're giving me, it's Frank Reich, end of discussion, repeat the line.
See, if I'm going Kellen Moore, I don't want to put the franchise in the hands of Kellen Moore when we don't have a quarterback. Like if we had a quarterback, whatever team, I'm not using the Carolina Panthers. I'm just saying if my team has a quarterback, I would be more willing to entertain the thought of Kellen Moore. I just don't know that he's a quarterback whisperer guru kind of guy that I want him to have a draft pick and cultivate that and live through that.
Well, and the thought process is that he has developed Dak Prescott.
Into what?
I don't know. I feel like this is one of those times that we're doing the millennial 2020 thing where we have to give people participation trophies. Hey, Dak Prescott didn't crash you into the rocks, and you were his coach, which means you're awesome.
Okay, so that begs the question, how much better today is Dak Prescott than he was at Mississippi State, just as a quarterback?
Oh, I mean, I would say that's pretty drastic. I mean, he was a borderline draftable prospect for me. So, he started in this league for a minute. I'll give you flowers there.
But how much? That's what I'm saying, though. How much growth have we seen out of him?
Not enough. Look, like I said, in the right situation, I would like Kellen Moore. I don't think Carolina's that, because Carolina has two options. And later in the show, we're going to have our first Mocking the Mock of Mel Kiper Jr. Mel, buddy, I love you so much, but Lord have mercy, were you drunk this morning? Did you get up this morning? He either got up this morning and chose violence, or he was actively intoxicated on something. I don't know which one.
Or he did that thing where he only cared about the first 5 picks, and then he just threw darts at boards after that.
Yeah, everybody says that about Mel. That's not true. But Carolina has two options. You either bring back Sam Darnold at a discounted rate, heavily incentivized, like the Daniel Jones deal light, or you're going to have to take quite a step, because that means you will need a quarterback. Please, for the love of all that's good and holy, stop throwing Matt Corral at me. That's not the quarterback you want. Just trust me on that. And now you're going to have a coach that didn't draft him. He was universally panned across the league. The chances of you hiring a coach that would be in on him are practically zero. And the two offensive guys that I know you're talking to, neither one does he fit their system at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're either going to have to take a flyer at 9, or you're going to have to trade up to get a quarterback. I would say best case scenario, you trade up from 9 to get to 3 with the Arizona Cardinals with the intention of taking either Stroud or Levis.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to cost you 2 second-round picks, so it's going to hurt what you can put around him.
It's going to take away the capital that you regained.
You're going to need somebody that can get the best out of a bad situation. And I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at Frank Reich going, I can't tell you that's the best candidate in the cycle. I can tell you it's the best candidate that's left that you're interviewing a second time. So long as this information is true, that these are the 3 finalists, that's your best case scenario. And before you tell me how bad he was with Matt Ryan and Phillip Rivers, just understand he was getting the corpse of formerly good NFL quarterbacks. He also got Carson Wentz and Nick Foles to a Super Bowl. So you can't give me the bad without talking about the good.
Right.
And for me, that makes this a no-brainer. I also like the staff he would be able to bring in. So if I'm Carolina, it's Frank Reich all in. All my chips to the middle of the table, and let's get this done today.
I agree. I fully agree. I have been against the Steve Wilkes talk since it all started up. The guy's a good defensive coordinator. He has the trust of the locker room. It's awesome, guys. It really is. But as a head coach, he's a failure.
who's going to coordinate your offense? There's the problem. The biggest problem with that's what's always irritated me about the Steve Wilks thing. I'm not telling you he's not a nice guy. I'm not telling you the players don't like him. I'm saying your defense is the one thing that I already know you have. There are probably 50 people that could coordinate that defense, and it would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Your offense, that's a little bit tougher of a sell. Because, yes, the line's improved, but what playmakers do you actually have? It's DJ Moore and a lot of, well, there's that. And you look at the 4 teams left in the playoffs. You want me to tell you a fun stat that I found out today?
Yeah.
If you take the top 3 receivers off all 4 teams that are still left,
okay,
how many of those guys are 25 years old or younger?
Oh. 5.
It's 8 of the 12.
Wow.
There are only 4 receivers that will start on Sunday that are older than 25 years old. So, yes, DJ Moore's a great piece, but you're seeing around the league that it's constant churn at receiver. I need somebody that can develop that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all well and good that you can play defense and yay. I need somebody that can score. And if you're Carolina, that's where I feel like you have to go.
Absolutely. Frank Reich is the leader in the clubhouse, clearly for us. Who is it for you? You can weigh in the chat. Have we heard from our big Panther fans, Adam Black or
I have not.
Kevin Vick? I haven't seen them in the comments yet.
Well, we discussed this before the show, and it was basically a resignation of just hire Frank Reich.
Well, of course it is. If those are the finalists that you're giving me, it's Frank Reich, and it's not close.
Yes.
Now, I mean, if there was some way that Sean Payton wasn't going to Denver and he was in the mix for your job, okay.
That's all a money thing.
But you're not
a compensation thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be honest with you, would I rather have Frank Reich and the 9th pick or Sean Payton minus $25 million and no 9th pick?
And no 9th pick,
It's Frank Reich for me, and it's not particularly all that close.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's a reason when we did future power rankings yesterday, this year's draft capital was a whole column. There's a reason for that.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Who are some of the finalists for the other jobs? We'll give you that up next.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
My partners had told me I should get my knee replaced. I was in my 40s, and I decided that I wouldn't do that.
That's orthopedic surgeon Dr. John Herzog, who found regenerative medicine years ago and became a believer.
It changed my life around. It improved me to a point where I was able to jog again.
That's when Dr. Herzog switched his focus from surgery to helping his patients with natural biologics.
I've treated at least 5,000 patients. I believe your body has everything it needs to heal itself.
Today, you'll find Dr. Herzog at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting field of medicine that can give lasting pain relief with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery.
I have patients coming up to me that I did 10 years ago saying, Doc, my elbow's still working great. I'm playing tennis 3 days a week.
Call QC Kinetics now to explore alternative ways to deal with your pain. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Hey, this is Peter Schrager from the NFL Network's morning show, Good Morning Football. You've also seen me on NFL Sidelines and in studio for Fox Sports on Sunday. Well, I've got a new podcast with iHeart in the NFL, and we're calling it The Season with Peter Schrager. In each episode of this season, I'm going to empty my proverbial notebook and take you inside and behind the scenes on the conversations that happen at the highest levels of NFL franchises. Listen to The Season with Peter Schrager on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
I get you. You think there's like a momentum here with Steve Wilks at the Carolina Panthers, but is it really? Is it really any kind of momentum? Oh, but we were better than we were under Matt Rule. Well, Matt Rule was hot garbage.
That's like saying, look at this new car that I bought at a junkyard. It has wheels. It's better than the one that I set on fire.
Right. You like to use girlfriend references. I mean, okay, the first one you were dating didn't even have a head, and now this one, well, I mean, I've seen better, but it's okay. Like,
so you won 5. So with Steve Wilkes, you won 5 of your last 8 games.
Yeah. 5 and 8, 5 and 3.
Do you know who they were against, though? The Falcons, who were not good.
Mm-mm.
The Denver Broncos, who may be the worst offense I've ever seen. The Seattle Seahawks, that was a good one. I'm not going to lie, that was a good one. The Detroit Lions, that was a good one because they completely forgot to show up and play defense, I think. And the New Orleans Saints, that you won 10-7.
Yeah.
That's not momentum.
Since the firing of Matt Rule, Steve Wilkes was 6-6 as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. I mean, if that's what you're after, if you're after, mediocre, just run-of-the-mill, kiss your sister seasons, then okay.
And my point is that you shouldn't be okay with that.
No, you shouldn't.
Because this is a division that's so open for the taking that the team who he's wearing their swag right now is interviewing Clint Kubiak.
Because who was the one yesterday? Todd Bowles?
There was another one yesterday that I laughed at. And now I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Tank's already drank it away.
I've already tried to forget that
Tank's already drank it away. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are irrelevant at this point. The New Orleans Saints are not far ahead of them, but at least you've still got talent. Tampa Bay has a bunch of receivers and nobody to throw them the ball.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Jim Bob Cooter. That's right. Jim Bob Cooter. Greatest name in all of NFL history.
Yeah.
So half of your division is on the decline. The only team that's not is the Atlanta Falcons, who, by the way, they have the same problem you do, only much bigger because they don't have a quarterback either.
And their team's not as good.
I don't necessarily agree with you there. Roster for roster, Carolina and Atlanta are way closer than you want to let on.
Okay.
Drake London and Kyle Pitts are both D-O-double-G dogs.
Agreed.
So I don't have to have as great of a quarterback in Atlanta as I need in Carolina.
True. I mean, Atlanta's got the edge on the offensive side, but Carolina, I think, is head and shoulders on defense better than Atlanta.
It's not head and shoulders. They have better talent. I mean, I'll give you that. They have better talent.
Mm-hmm.
But there were also games where that defense got absolutely tortured. So it's hard for me to say, oh, yeah, lockdown defense. You're great there.
Right.
That's my problem with Steve Wilkes. I've seen him as a head coach 2 times. Arizona was a train wreck.
3-13.
Now, that's train wreck franchise. He comes in and he's the interim here, and I'm not telling you it wasn't good. It was fine in the worst division in NFL history.
Train wreck franchise. How's that any different?
And so now you're going to bring him in based off those 8 games. I want you to do me a favor. Name me the last time that worked. Now, we've seen a bunch of teams do it over the years. When was the last time that 5 years later you went, oh, yeah, that was the right idea? Well, we really should have done that. No, because 2s are 2s and 1s are 1s. And so if I'm Carolina, Frank Reich is a 1. And I know a lot of people bang on him for not having a quarterback in Indianapolis. I got news for you. That had virtually nothing to do with him. Chris Ballard has one of the hardest hands in all of the NFL. He's one of the heaviest-handed GMs in the league because he's a really bright guy.
Mm-hmm.
So this was him churning through all of these quarterbacks. And if you remember, I said Frank Reich's going out on his shield here of I'm going to do this my way with Sam Ehlinger instead of Matt Ryan. Frank Reich's a good coach. And I think that's probably the best one you could hire.
I would agree.
And if you bring the other thing that I would argue is you hire Steve Wilks. All right, what's your plan for the offensive side of the ball? Before you give me, well, they could bring in Frank Reich. No, they couldn't. Guys like Frank Reich do not tie themselves to coaches that are retribution projects. You've already done this once. You're getting your second chance. No. A guy like Frank Reich ties himself to somebody like Ajiro Avero or D'Amico Ryans, who's going to get a lot of leeway. And I'm not going to get fired in a year and be doing this exact same thing.
Right.
That's where a Frank Reich goes.
Because the chances are next year with Steve Wilks as your head coach, if you miss the playoffs and let's say you miss it poorly by a few games, it's done. Steve Wilks isn't the head coach anymore.
Not necessarily. That's a very quick trigger. I don't think you can go into a year saying.
How many coaches have we seen fired in 1 year in the last few years?
Not nearly as many as you think, and they were all disasters. That's not where I think that would go.
Mm-hmm.
But the Frank Reich side of it could. If the offense doesn't turn around, somebody's going to be the sacrificial lamb, and it would most likely be him.
Yeah.
One of the things you always have to remember about coaching candidates, they're looking at their own career longevity in a vacuum. So it would be hard for me to believe that you're going to get anything more than the hotshot quarterbacks coach or running backs coach. That can work. It just worked with Mike Kafka in New York, and now he's going to get a head coaching job. That worked. I'm not so sure that works with Steve Wilks, where here, the offense is yours, and I'm going to go over here and play with the defense because I don't know anything about offense. That's not what I would be tying myself to personally.
Mm-hmm. Mike Kafka did get an interview for the Carolina Panthers head coaching job, but apparently they're not going to go that way.
No, it seems like Houston's all in on Kafka, Ajiro Avero, and D'Amico Ryans.
Yes.
So it looks like one of those three will be the next coach of the Texans.
Yes, Mike Kafka and Ajiro Avero both have second interviews scheduled with the Houston Texans.
And my question would be, well, for why? But why? Why do you want to do this?
Of what? Oh, why you want to go to the Texans?
Why do you want to go to the Houston Texans?
I get it. The Indianapolis Colts have a couple of guys that have been scheduled for second interviews. One of them is Ajiro Avero, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. The other one is Raheem Morris.
And the third is Jeff Saturday.
Oh, did that just come out?
It didn't just come out, but yeah, he's the third. That's one of those where I feel like you have to be looking at that situation going, I already know what you're going to do because I feel like you predestined what you were going to do long before you ever did it. And it's such a bad idea.
They're not going to give him a second chance, are they?
Oh, absolutely. Jeff Saturday's the next coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Somebody would have to, from what I have been told, somebody would damn near have to blow them away. I mean, they'd have to come in with some unbelievable plan for Indianapolis because Jim Irsay is just that locked in on Jeff Saturday.
Wow.
Thinks he's a leader of men.
And you want to talk about dumpster fire franchises. And that's a good way to put yourself into that conversation.
Well, I mean, Jim Irsay is, let's be really honest. This is a guy that he's a little crazy.
Uh-huh.
He's a little crazy, and there's not a whole lot of checks and balances there. Jim does what Jim wants to do.
I mean, look,
Jim Irsay is like the on steroids version of Bill Belichick. You take Peyton Manning away, that's not been the greatest franchise in the NFL since he's been the one in charge.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of dumpster fire organizations, the Arizona Cardinals, they're they're doing stuff with their head coaching search. And
that's the one I don't know what they're going to do.
They have scheduled a second interview now with Dan Quinn. Good for you.
Woo.
Good for you. Make Dan Quinn your next head coach and see how long that lasts. See, this is when you said
I don't hate that as much as you
when
do.
you said Arizona Cardinals were a dumpster fire franchise. You kind of talked over me when I said, "Well, how's that different from Carolina?"
Oh no, Arizona's a much bigger dumpster fire than Carolina.
Okay,
That's not even the same ballpark.
Much bigger. Much bigger.
I would not consider Carolina a dumpster fire organization.
Yeah,
that's easy for you to say. You're a Bucs fan.
No,
they've been to a Super Bowl in the
close.
last 8 years, so no, they're not a dumpster fire organization.
The way the last few years has gone,
because you made a bad decision with
You're
Matt
on the
Rule
way.
and you've got a new owner. That's when I say dumpster fire organization. The Arizona Cardinals have been dog water for 40 years. This is
except
the
for that
same
Super Bowl
team
trip.
with Kurt Warner, and they had 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel. It's one of the luckiest teams in NFL history. Ooh, great for you. Yeah, the Jets got to a Super Bowl. So maybe calm down on just that one.
Again, how's that different from Carolina?
Well, Carolina's been an organization for 26
Look,
years.
I get it, but tell me you don't see the signs of if they boo-boo kitty this next hire, they're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I don't see that way.
Okay.
I just don't. I mean, it's an organization that's and you're gonna have to quote me on this if I'm wrong. They're 26 years into functionality.
Mm-hmm.
They have as many Hall of Famers or prospective Hall of Famers as the Jets have in the last 50 years. That doesn't scream Arizona Cardinals to me. That doesn't scream Houston Texans to me.
Sure.
It doesn't scream Indianapolis Colts to me, to be really honest.
Okay.
Those are the franchises that I'm looking at going from the top down. This is dysfunctional. All of you people rail on David Tepper, and I don't get it. He's a new owner that made one splashy bad mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many others have done that? San Francisco did that. Oh, by the way, this franchise it's the bastion of stability. They did the exact same thing. And not only did they do it, they did it after he had been fired in Philadelphia. Another bastion of stability.
First impressions are important. You're a
and
man
that's
of
fine.
business. You know this.
And I get that, but treating that as that's what this is, to me, that's just stupid. You're looking at a team that in 25 years has been to 2 Super Bowls. Do you know how many other franchises can say that? If you take away the initial 12 that, obviously, you all did it because there were 12 teams.
Right.
It's 4. This is apples and Ferraris. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Okay. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Higher elevations to our west have had some big wind speeds today with some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts above 3,500 feet. Our low tonight, 31 degrees. And the wind's trying to settle down, change direction here into Thursday. Northwest winds Thursday, high 42, low 23. We've got some 20s for low temps again for Friday night. Next chance for rain coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing, I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
All the radio stations you love, every playlist to match your mood, the podcasts that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you, where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville. Time to get just a bit outside. And Jeremy, your chance to use one of your favorite sayings about your least favorite sport.
Oh, because baseball.
Because baseball. Yesterday, it became official that they have a new member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Cooperstown, New York will have a new enshrinee, and it's Scott Rowland. Yay. Look, Scott Rowland was a really good player. He was a very good player.
He's a Hall of Famer.
And I get it, but here's the problem that I have.
The argument you're getting ready to make is why I think baseball is, without a doubt, the poorest run sport in the history of time, and you're literally telling us that we shouldn't care.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Go ahead.
Because you got Scott Rowland now in the Hall of Fame, and some of your greatest stars are not.
That's a whole nother level.
Look, I don't have
I was gleaning over that.
No, I don't have a problem with Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland's fine, but you know what Scott Rowland is to me? Scott Rowland's the fifth guy on the ballot. Scott Rowland is the guy that, we got him into the Hall of Fame too. He's not your headliner. Think about where the Baseball Hall of Fame has been since the Derek Jeter year. Derek Jeter was the only one in that 2020 class, and of course COVID came, and we had to delay the enshrinement for a year. It took all of the headline off the table, the pomp and circumstance that was going to be the Derek Jeter thing.
Oh, yeah, that's what did it.
And then a year later, it came, and it kind of went with a whimper. And in the last 3 years, you got two guys in the Hall of Fame. Now, one of them was the greatest designated hitter of all time. So, I mean, Red Sox fan, I'm going to give you credit for David Ortiz. But, I mean, this is like the third time in Major League history or in Baseball Hall of Fame history that they have gone 3 years with only electing two guys to the Hall of Fame in that 3-year stretch.
And there it is. Baseball is literally so egotistical with its Hall of Fame that you tell us year in and year out, there were not 5 special enough players for us to let them in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
That is subconsciously telling people our sport is awful. The NFL is culling all-time greats that can't get in. You can't find a second because baseball.
Indeed. And then, of course, you give me Scott Rowland in the Hall of Fame, and then I can go down the list of all the ones that should be in the Hall of Fame that are not because of the dumbass steroid era arguments. I'm so sick and tired of that, and I cannot wait for 70% of these baseball writers who are just sitting around drinking their Metamucil every day to shuffle off this mortal coil so we can finally get a Hall of Fame that represents the greatness of baseball. Sorry, I had to do that.
The greatness of baseball.
I look, you can not like baseball all you want to, but
it's like saying the greatness of ginger ale. Really? Oh,
ginger ale is pretty damn good.
I haven't had a ginger ale in 20 years, and I don't see any end in sight.
You spike that sucker with some whiskey, and you're on to a little bit of a party. That's all I'm saying.
Sprite called exponentially better.
Scott Rowland got 76% of the votes. He is the only one eligible under the 75% rule to be enshrined this year. Todd Helton, former Asheville tourist, he was next on the ballot with 72.2%. Thanks, baseball. Appreciate you.
It's awesome. I also love that they announced that at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Well, of course they did, because they were hoping that everybody would forget and not lambaste them for it.
Well, I mean, that and all the people that cared had to get their Matlock, their Metamucil in before they took a night. This wasn't the greatest year for Brian Kelly, although by the end it had seemed to take a little rebound. He had his famous "My Family" introduction at a LSU basketball game, the really odd circular dance video with the recruit that wound up signing with Alabama. This may be the worst look yet for the Baton Rouge head coach. An audit done by an independent group of LSU's financials has discovered that Brian Kelly was paid an extra $1 million in the fiscal year of 2022. Now, you might be saying $1 million, that's probably just a bonus. Man, they're just giving a little extra money for a job well done.
Sure.
They paid him twice. In May and June, they paid him twice. And he saw that and went, that's fine. No, we're good. I'm not going to tell a soul. The report.
It was direct deposited. He didn't notice.
The report basically says that it was bad accounting by both parties. So let me get this straight. Brian Kelly is actually adhering to a Jeremy Greene philosophy of, if you give me money, it's not my job to tell you did it wrong. I'll give you that. How you misplace $1 million? How do you need an independent group to tell you paid a guy twice? And apparently there's no plan to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, it's all good.
Well, I mean, he still is employed with the school, so we could skip a payment next year. We can make that work on the books somehow.
So they have set up a payment plan to repay the money owed, but it's not him actually paying anything back. It's just them docking little amounts out of his pay.
There you go.
And according to a report, it'll take 5 years for him to pay it back. I feel like there's an easier way to do that. But what do I do?
What? Just take it all back?
Just take $1 million away. You're making $1 million a month. I think you're fine. Skip June. I promise you. You won't even know it's gone.
But that's not fair.
Fair is a thing that shows up in your town once a year with funnel cakes and Ferris wheels.
Yeah. All right. Get into the chat. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you too can get in on the conversation in the chat. It's always fun. Some great baseball comments here. As we have
Tyler Cunningham said ginger ale tastes like nursing home medicine. Correct. I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't like ginger anything.
Really?
And yes, I see the irony in that.
Interesting. You are.
I don't like
but
ginger
you hate
dressing.
Ginger.
I'm not a ginger. I am a daywalker. Only my facial hair is red.
We didn't need to know that, but we appreciate you sharing.
Well, I mean, I don't wear a hat every day. You can see that the hair on my head is brown. I actually had somebody ask me if I dyed my beard the other day. I went, how much do you know about me? Because that doesn't strike me as something I would do.
Divine Comedy said, quote, the greatness of baseball is what my high school English teacher used to call an oxymoron.
Fact.
Do appreciate the shout outs that we get. I'm looking for the comment and I misplaced it here, but here it is. George Cook, flight delayed at the airport. Thank God for the Sportsocracy.
Hey, we're here for you.
It's not a super chat, but I felt like we needed to highlight it. That's right. We're here for you each and every day.
As somebody that flies a lot, I can tell you, delayed flights are the worst.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Tao says the all-time hits leader and the all-time home run leader, not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, irrelevant.
Yeah.
Tell me your Hall of Fame is irrelevant without telling me.
I want to do one of those man on the street. You know what I'm talking about. Those little puff pieces that news entities do. I'm going to ask you a baseball Hall of Fame or a baseball All-Stars name. And I want you to tell me who you think that person is. And I want to see how long it takes before we get somebody that goes, oh, yeah, he's the second baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in the NFL, I can tell you the backup kicker of the Dallas Cowboys name. That really tells you everything you need to know.
It does. It does.
Baseball's become like The Wire. It had a really niche following, and that niche following tried to convince me it was the greatest show of all time. Meanwhile, every time I turned it on, I either fell asleep or blood came out of my ear.
A niche following.
I will say that does lead me into another topic of discussion that I need the help of the reprehensibles on.
Okay.
All right, so last night I started The Mayor of Kingstown.
Okay.
It's with Jeremy Renner, who plays a character in the Avengers, but I don't remember what that character's name was. Hawkeye.
He's the guy with the bow and arrow.
I went Black Hawk. I went Trey Young. I went every Hawk I could think of, and I could not think of the name. That show is phenomenal.
Yes.
Well, the guy that makes it is the same guy that made Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
If you've listened to the show for any period of time, you know
Taylor
that
Sheridan is his name.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Is it Taylor or Tyler?
Taylor
Sheridan. Phenomenal work.
Yes.
Just watched Tulsa King. It was phenomenal. Started Mayor of Kingstown. It's phenomenal. So now this has convinced me. All right, I'm going to have to watch Yellowstone.
Yes, you are. I've been telling you that for 3 years now.
I don't do cowboy things. All right, that's especially when two of your spinoffs are named after years that were before my grandparents were born. That's a horrible start.
Well, look, I keep telling you, it's get around the cowboy thing. It's about, rough and rugged dudes who are all shocker of shockers, staunch Republicans who are just about protecting their land. And there's guns and there's sex, and you have all of the things that make Jeremy Greene want to watch a show.
Well, I have heard nothing about hatred, nicotine, or alcohol. So, all right, we're
Beth Dutton. Just remember the name.
All right. That's fair
She's
enough.
She's going to be your new favorite person on this planet.
And that's entirely possible. I have asked the reprehensibles, what order am I supposed to watch this in? Now, I didn't explain this when I asked the question on social media. I'm really weird about how I watch things like this. I just went back and watched Young Sheldon and then followed it up with The Big Bang Theory. That's how weird I am about watching stuff like this.
Strange, yeah.
So if there are things that I need to know in the prequel before the series, I want to watch that first.
No.
And I'm getting very different answers on that.
No, you should watch it just as we have watched it, those of us who have been watching the show from its inception. You go Yellowstone, watch the first 3 seasons, because there's things that in the prequel you'll be like, oh, that's how they did that, or that's what the connection is with the family, or whatever. You should start with the actual show.
But I stopped before this current season and then go back and watch the prequels. That's been said a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Is that you should watch it in the order that it was released.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That will be a new segment starting next week. Jeremy catches up on Yellowstone. We haven't named it yet, but it's coming.
Ginger cowboy. There's some ginger cowboy thing in there somewhere.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Mullet cowboy rides again. That's right.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. In the last year, my life has changed. It's like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song. My life just got turned upside down. And it's all because of PhD weight loss. PhD weight loss in the last year helped me lose 90 pounds. I have shed a grade schooler. And I never thought success like this was possible on any other program. I've done all the fad diets in my life, and it was one of those things that I'll do it for a little while and then just fall off the wagon, and there's no support system. I'm just kind of on my own. PhD is not that way. They give you a support system that keeps you on track, keeps you motivated, and you will get results like you can't anywhere else.
I did not have a toddler to lose. I had just stopped working out every day, and when you continue to consume food at the same rate that you did when you did athletic things, you get a little chunky, and it led to some back problems, some sleep apnea, and different issues. Just a year into this program, all of those have gone away. I'm wearing extra large shirts. Bought this off the rack. That was not a thing I could do in the past, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD.
I am enjoying a new wardrobe myself, and if you've been struggling with a weight problem your entire life, never found a way to get a handle on it, PhD Weight Loss, we highly recommend. MyPhDWeightLoss.com, PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition, the official partner of the Clemson Tigers. Coming up in the next hour, we are going to find it's the first one of these that we're going to do all year long, or I guess over the next 4 months.
Over the Draftmas season.
As the Draftmas season is upon us, everybody and their brother, every analyst who thinks he's worth his salt, every guy who's might have a better deal but may not be better than Jeremy Greene, putting out their mock drafts, and we will mock Mel Kiper's first mock draft coming up in just a little bit. But first, Jeremy's got his bangers of the night in the NBA, also in college. Again, we say this, you don't have to watch the games.
Don't watch them. I have no intention on watching them. But that under last night, or over last night, excuse me. How about that over?
It was another 2-2 night last night for the Green on Green picks. We'll have more bangers for you coming up after this right here on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Save now on appliances and more at the Truckload event at Lowe's. Get deals on select major appliances and take home what you buy same day. And save an additional 10% on all in-store clearance appliances. Plus, get 10% off in-stock kitchen cabinets with a $1,000 minimum purchase and save even more on clearance cabinets in-store. Shop the Truckload event in-store or online today. Must ask cashier to apply discount at time of purchase. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Valid 1/19 to 1/25.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Your passion is NFL football. Your access is total. Every weekday, NFL Total Access hits you with uncut.
He can't be stopped.
Uncensored.
I love that.
And unapologetic takes on all things NFL.
That's how crazy it is.
We go beyond what happened to tell you how it happened and what happens now.
Those are the facts.
On the field, inside the huddle, and under the helmet. This is NFL Total Access, the podcast. Listen weekdays on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coffee still closes on.
Get him the money. And when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
And when you get the power, then you get the woman.
2-2 last night keeps us at 500 for the year. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Full slate of games in college and the pros tonight. And for once, I'm on all of the biggest games of the night. First, UConn's a 6.5-point favorite tonight against Xavier. A recent slide by the Huskies has really skewed the public narrative on them and leads to a bit of a strange line against Xavier. UConn's 11-1 at home with the one loss, a terrible shooting night against St. John's. This is their first set of back-to-back home games in a month. Xavier isn't nearly as good on the road, and this feels like a get-right spot to me. UConn minus the 6.5. Next, Auburn's a 5-point favorite at home against Texas A&M. Auburn's one of the best defensive teams in the country, and nobody talks about them. Texas A&M, terrible three-point shooting team. Those are two things that lead me to believe this is going to be a complete blowout. Auburn's good at home. Give me Auburn minus the 5. In the NBA, my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets are an 8-point dog tonight at the Milwaukee Bucks. Look, my Nuggies have won 20 of their last 24, but this is a back-to-back, so you have to know you may see load management for Jamal Murray. That's the more likely of the two. And on the high side, Nikola Jokic. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen because this is a prime spot and a big game to sway public narrative. I'm going to take the risk, and I'm taking the Nuggets plus the 8. And finally, the Philadelphia 76ers are a 5.5-point favorite tonight. Over-under is 225.5 for their game with the Brooklyn Nets. Offensively, Philadelphia is way better at home. They score almost a full 1.5 more at home than they do on the road. These are two really good defensive teams. Brooklyn, especially without Kevin Durant, leads me to believe lower scoring game. I just don't think Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving and a bunch of dudes can keep up with Philadelphia at home. Give me the 76ers minus the 5.5, under 225.5. For more, follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, Green on Green is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Higher elevations to our west have had some big wind speeds today with some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts above 3,500 feet. Our low tonight, 31 degrees. And the wind's trying to settle down, change direction here into Thursday. Northwest winds Thursday, high 42, low 23. We've got some 20s for low temps again for Friday night. Next chance for rain coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services of Asheville.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville, FRS247.com.
Is it getting harder to find new customers? After all, it's one thing to run a business and another to grow it. But what if you had access to everyone listening to me right now? Access to all the customers in your area. As the #1 audio company in America, iHeartMedia gives you access to all the customers you need to grow at a fraction of the cost of digital, video, and social advertising. Get started today. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
When prices go up, you get paid out.
Just won $1,000?
Win $1,000 in inflation compensation.
Thank you!
Oh, my God, thank you.
You're so money.
Yeah! Listen weekdays between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. for your chance to win $1,000. When you hear the keyword for the hour, log on to ESPNAVL.com and enter it for your chance at $1,000. It's inflation compensation from ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Take all this, burn it, okay? Gasoline, kerosene, either one. Burn it.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Today, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes put to rest any doubt regarding his status for Sunday's AFC Championship game versus the Bengals. He said he's ready to go. Also said he's continued to get treatment on his high ankle sprain and that the ankle has progressed. He took part in the morning walkthrough and today's practice. With an injured Mahomes, there is one player in particular key for the Chiefs offense on Sunday, explains ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Outside of the offensive line, which is obvious, is Isaiah Pacheco, their running back. Listen, this is about the run game for Andy Reid. Isaiah Pacheco with 4.34, almost 4.2 speed. We saw that burst last week in the game against Jacksonville. He can be the difference maker, not only to give them a running game, but to also keep pressure off of Patrick Mahomes.
NBA ESPN's Dave McMenamin reporting the Lakers set to welcome back Anthony Davis from a foot injury against the Spurs. Barring any setback during his pregame warm-up tonight, AD has been out since the middle of December. Warriors center James Wiseman sidelined the last 11 games with an ankle sprain, likely returns tonight against the Grizzlies, 10 Eastern, ESPN TV.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy. We come to you live from the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and of course heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. You can also see us live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat, and it's time. It's Draftmas season.
Oh, Draftmas tree, oh, Draftmas tree.
The mock drafts are coming out. Jeremy's already done 5 of them.
Well, I mean, that was over the course of the year. I've only done one postseason mock.
This is very
but
true.
There are more coming.
This is very true. I think you've decided on 13, lucky number 13.
It's just it's a working number.
Squeeze that many in before the actual draft.
It's a working number. We'll figure it out as we go. The next full one will be after the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. So mock 5 just came out, and it's time to mock the mocks. As Mel Kiper Jr. from, of course, the mothership at ESPN put out his mock draft today, and the number 1 pick belongs to the Chicago Bears. And does he have them trading the pick? No.
No, sir.
No. Does he have them taking a generational quarterback at number 1?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir, he doesn't. In fact, he has them taking a defensive player. And is it the top defensive player on most people's boards?
That's not as cut and dry as you're going to make it.
I said most. Doesn't the majority of people have Will Anderson at number 1?
No, I wouldn't say it's the majority. That's pretty split.
Okay.
Here's what I will tell you. He has them taking Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that, my first reaction was very pointed, and I'm going to recite it to you now. Is Mel Kiper doing crimes? Because recreational drugs are the only thing that makes that make any sense. That's it. There is no other explanation for that. if Chicago is dead set on taking a defensive player, I'm not telling you they're not. Here's what I will tell you. Their GM has already come out and said, for me to take a quarterback at 101, I would have to be blown away. That comment told you everything you need to know. Did Arizona say that?
No.
No. Because they're committed to Kyler Murray, whether they want to be or not.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine any of the other teams that are locked in at quarterback saying, well, if we're blown away by a quarterback, we could take one at 1?
No.
And you can give me that's posturing. You can give me whatever you want. That was Ryan Poles telling you definitively. I didn't draft Justin Fields. I think I see where this is headed. And if there's a quarterback that I like, and I fully believe there is, that's who I'll take.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you trade down. You got Houston at 2, Indianapolis at 4, and a slew of others all the way down to Carolina at 9. If you're taking a defensive player, you're not taking them 101. Period.
Mm-hmm.
There is no path. Last year, I was the guy that told you Trayvon Walker was going 1.
Yes.
From what? After the Senior Bowl on, I'm telling you definitively, the number 1 pick in this draft will be a quarterback. Period. End of discussion. Repeat the line.
Well, I like the prospect of the Georgia Bulldogs becoming just the third team in history to have players drafted number 1 overall in back-to-back years. Can you name the other 2?
Oklahoma.
Uh-huh. It's Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield.
Who is the other? LSU?
No, it's not LSU. I will give it to you. It's USC. You got to go back to 1968 for that one.
I should have known.
Offensive lineman Ron Yeri was taken by the Minnesota Vikings with the top pick in the 1968 draft, and then the next season, the Buffalo Bills selected
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson, that's right. So, while the prospect of Georgia becoming...
they really killed that draft.
Yeah, getting... Oh.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, people.
Yeah.
It's just jokes.
Yeah, it was cutting edge.
Just jokes.
It's cutting edge. While I would like to be in that elite company...
I knew I was going to do that before he said it.
I did. I don't see this happening. Jalen Carter is a great player, and I think he is going to be awesome at the next level.
I think he will be fine.
But I don't know that he is Aaron Donald awesome.
He's not. And if you do this, you should be LMNO fired the next day. Because let's just say, and Mel in the mock basically said, you have to know where the trade's coming from, blah, 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 blah. I can already tell you there's one team in the top 5 that's in love with the quarterback. I've already said it on the show. It's Will Levis with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
Could that change? Absolutely. That's where it's at right now. The value of that would be number 4, where Indianapolis sits now. They're 2 this year, and they're 1 next year.
Mm-hmm.
But then we don't know if we get Jalen Carter. I don't care. I don't care. Name me any time that you have ever looked at a defense and said that one defensive tackle by himself is enough to change how you feel about a franchise.
Never happened.
It doesn't exist. So even if Indianapolis said, we're only willing to give you 4, next year's 2, and this year's 2, you do it. You do it knowing either Will Anderson or Jalen Carter is going to be there for you. Worst case scenario, you call Houston and leverage them the same way San Francisco leveraged you years ago with Mitch Trubisky. You get a little extra draft capital, you move down, you still get the guy you want. Taking him at 1 is dumb. It doesn't make any sense because you have this asset that's very valuable, but it's only as valuable as you make it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you basically all of the luck that you got by winding up at 1, you just cast it aside by taking Jalen Carter at 1. It doesn't make any sense. So that was my first great big hang-up. To me, I don't see the Raiders making the move up. I just don't. I think if somebody's going to trade up, it would either be Houston at 2, Indy at 4, Carolina at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 3 that really make sense to me.
I could see all of those happening. I could see all of those franchises are in a place where they would want to do that.
And I mean,
I don't see Las Vegas, as you mentioned. I don't see Dolph Ziggler sitting there going, I really want to give up future draft capital as I'm trying to build something here with Josh McDaniels. I just don't see that happening. I get that it's, he may be blown away from a quarterback, and that's kind of how I read the Ryan Poles thing. Was, okay, he said, if I'm blown away, which tells me he is blown away with somebody, and if you want him, come get him, because we're going to take him.
See, and to me, I read that as, I have all of the power. I am full He-Man right now. I have all the power.
Right.
And you will come to me with your best offer, and I will take whatever the best one is. If that's for Justin Fields, it's for Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, then we'll trade down. We'll roll with Justin Fields, and we'll put a copious amount of things around him. The way you make a guy like that work is you make the trade with Carolina. You go down to 9. You get their 9th pick this year. They've got 2 2s, which would currently be 39 and 61, depending on how the playoffs unfold. You get those 2, and then you get their 1 next year. Okay, I can build a roster that way.
Mm-hmm.
And at 9, I get Miles Murphy or Peter Skoronski or whatever, whoever it is, I don't care.
Right.
It's going to be a non-impact player position, not a non-impact player. Fletcher Cox is an impact defensive tackle. I'm not saying they don't exist. Taking one at 1 is stupid. That's a quarterback spot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason, because there is copious amounts of value there. So no matter what and Chicago fans just love to rail on me. Every bit of this is on the table. This is, I'm not conspiring this out of my head. It's very well known. They haven't made a decision on anything yet. But I can tell you the way that this was opined is not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. That the Chicago Bears keep the pick and draft a tackle. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, every team that needs a quarterback would have to come together and say none of them are good enough for us to give up an extra first-round pick for. Name me the last time that happened.
Well, I mean,
where there were actual quarterbacks. And,
I was going to say,
had,
look at this last year's draft.
Because there were no prospects that were that good. I've had people throwing that at me, too. Well, there are people saying Malik Willis was a top 10 pick. Not any scout I know, and I probably know 100 of them. Not one person that does what I do said Malik Willis is a 1. Do you remember what I said about him last year? I wouldn't take him in the first 2 days. No shot. Wouldn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett is the safest. Sam Howell's the best, and I wouldn't take any of them outside of the back end of the first round. That's it. There was none of that.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 that teams have top 10 talent grades on. So you're not going to have that problem this year.
Right. Mock drafts are always fun, especially when you look back at old mock drafts. I mean, you look back at last year's mock drafts, even a week, 2 weeks before the season. I mean, there were some mock drafters that had, 5 quarterbacks going in the first round last year. And see, that's what
you
people
do every
see.
year.
Yeah, but that's what people see.
Mm-hmm.
And they think, well, maybe this class is the same. No, this class is very much different.
This class has a lot of – this is beauty's in the eye of the beer holder because you can domestic light yourself to loving a lot of these guys. If I watch the good of Will Levis, I get just intoxicated on him.
Mm-hmm.
The good of Bryce Young, but he's little. Okay. The knock on Bryce Young is he's little. Okay, so that's so you're saying he's going to miss games? Yet Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson called. They do too.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both bigger than Bryce Young, and they run way more than he does. So that argument kind of falls apart to me, like, immediately.
Right.
Somebody's going to make a move here. If it's Chicago getting rid of Justin Fields or somebody moving up to get Bryce Young. Which leads us into the next the next stupid thing that I saw in Mel's mock version 1. It's the second pick.
Okay, the number 2 pick belonging to the Houston Texans. It's
they're taking a quarterback. That's quarterback. And you're taking the one that universally people have third. C.J. Stroud is universally number 3. And it just depends on what team you're talking about. Bryce Young is exponentially safer. But CJ's bigger. Okay, the tape is drastically better on one than the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even close if we're being really honest.
No, you have more of it. You have more of it to lean on with Bryce because he was the Heisman winner last year, and
he got 2 years of it with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, but you also have that one game, and even Mel mentioned it in his mock draft. The Georgia game was the one that made him flip. I mean, he said it at the end of his little synopsis of the pick that he has C.J. Stroud behind Bryce Young and Will Levis by just a little bit.
We all do,
but
because
it was the tape from the Georgia game that made him flip.
He's the safer combination of Will Levis and Bryce Young because he has better size than Bryce Young, and he's got he doesn't have the arm that Will Levis does, but he also doesn't make the just mind-bogglingly bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those draft picks that gets you fired because there's almost no way that it works out for you because he would have to be better than Will Levis and Bryce Young. And he's talking about the thing that I found the dumbest is he's talking about the scheme fit with a team that doesn't have a coach.
Right, there is no scheme.
So you're telling me he fits better in this scheme? They don't have a coach. What scheme is it? The one Lovie Smith ran? I have a funny feeling that's not going to look the same next year.
The Georgia game did him a lot of favors.
Absolutely did. Guaranteed he will be a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Unequivocally, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He will go in the top 5. And he will probably go ahead of Will Levis, depending.
I would say
depends on how things fall out.
I would say more than
safe.
likely. More than likely he goes ahead of Will Levis. But with Houston having their choice between the two at 2, which would be best case scenario for them, why would you take C.J. Stroud
Not a clue.
over Bryce Young?
Because you fall in love off one game tape, and I've seen that happen, I don't know, 10, 15 times. Jake Locker, Christian Ponder, Christian Hackenberg, Jamarcus Russell, Brian Leaf, Achilles Smith. I could do this for a minute.
Let this be noted. The first time he's ever said the words Christian Hackenberg and didn't actually vomit on himself.
That's okay. Aaron Rodgers is in the offing, so the Christian Hackenberg thing it's pushed out of my mind.
So the second pick was enormously stupid to you as well.
It's just two things that can't happen. I mean, Houston has to be as safe as humanly possible here. And C.J. Stroud is a kid that I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't play next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason that I don't like him so much I like him in Seattle a lot. Because you can sit behind Geno for a year. If something were to happen to Geno, you're safe. But I'm not dead committed on Seattle taking a quarterback. He's one of those that could fall into a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Could also be a trade-up candidate. I just don't see Houston doing that with nothing around him.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Mocking the Mocks, round 1.
Your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
No accidents or stalls in the roadways. Interstates 240, 26, and 40 all moving well. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is busy and steady. Patton Avenue, delay-free. New Leicester Highway, no problems. Smoky Park Highway, traffic is flowing freely. Hendersonville Road, no backups. Sweeten Creek Road, delay-free. Brevard Road, no problems. Long Shoals Road, moving well. On the Charlotte Highway, no backups. Tunnel Road, incident-free. And Swannanoa River Road, moving well. I'm Lee Binfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts provides more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also offer free check engine light diagnosis. We can scan your vehicle and provide a list of possible fixes. Find the right parts for you or recommend a great local repair shop. Don't ignore your check engine light. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Wendy's knows cold and soggy fries are the worst.
So soggy.
That's why we're serving up hot and crispy fries all day, every day.
And all night until close.
With natural cut potatoes, sea salted to perfection.
Show me that potato skin.
Wendy's hot and crispy aren't like other fries. We're your dream fry. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's hot and crispy fries.
Guaranteed to be hot and crispy. If yours aren't, bring them back and we'll replace them.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy, and we are mocking the mocks. This is the first edition of the Draftmas season, and we start with the granddaddy of them all, Mr. Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper Jr.
He has, Chicago keeping the number one pick and taking Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle out of Georgia. Houston Texans with the number 2 pick, taking C.J. Stroud with both quarterbacks on the board.
And then we have a couple picks that I have no problem with.
Arizona Cardinals with Will Anderson.
It's fine.
That'll happen.
Very, very plausible.
Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts, Bryce Young.
Happiest team in the NFL.
Yeah, because that's a no-doubter. He falls to 4 to you, and you're doing backflips. Regardless of the reports that you're head over heels for Will Levis, you're probably head over heels for Will Levis because you don't think you have a shot at the other 2.
And not so much Stroud as Bryce Young.
Sure.
But it also, I mean, there are people that believe Indianapolis could trade 2-1 to get Will Levis. That's how in that scouting department seems to be on him. Again, it's still early.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I get it. I watch the tape on him and go, with a good team, he's got a big old cannon of an arm.
At number 5, the Seattle Seahawks.
And this is where it goes. All right. This is where it goes a little kooky for me. Will Levis to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a path they take Bryce Young. If somehow he fell to them because people get worried about his weight or whatever the case may be, I could see him taking C.J. Stroud. Schematically, they both fit. Will Levis doesn't at all.
Okay.
Because Seattle is predicated on you not turning the ball over. That's how they just made Geno Smith the comeback player of the year. So you're going to bring me the most turnover-prone quarterback in the draft, maybe in the last 5 years? No, sir. That does not make any sense. Not even a little bit, especially with Tyree Wilson on the board, who goes 5 to Detroit.
So this is so Will Levis, because he is more prone to turnovers, would not fit Seattle. This isn't like
he doesn't fit. Pete Carroll would literally. You think he chews gum aggressively? He would pull his hair out at the root with Will Levis
because of the decision making.
Because he just makes bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That entire team is predicated on running the ball and making the right throw. Will Levis makes the special throw. Can you believe he just did that? But there's a lot of bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand what his thought was, that you could play him behind Geno Smith. I get that.
And he came from a run-heavy team in Kentucky.
But
There's
even
probably
if
that connection.
But even that's not 100% accurate, because the year that you're drafting Will Levis off of was with Liam Cohen, not last year with Rob Calabrese. That tape, you really need to flush that down the toilet because it's hard to watch at times. Even if he becomes what you think he will be, that doesn't fit in Seattle. And I get it. You're looking at DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett going that big arm with those two weapons.
Absolutely.
That's fine, but that's not what this entire franchise is built on. And it just that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Will Levis more fits the Carolina Panthers. He more fits the Indianapolis Colts. We're playing the long game here. Seattle's competitive right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see you completely overhauling everything you've done for all these years for a quarterback just because he falls in your lap at 5.
Okay. Number 6, he's got the Detroit Lions taking Tyree Wilson, edge rusher out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, we'll talk about him a lot. The good's really good, and he's super tall.
Las Vegas Raiders at 7, taking Peter Skoronski.
He's got 32-inch arms. If you watch the YouTube video, you know that. If you watch the YouTube mock, you know why that's funny.
The Atlanta Falcons, Miles Murphy.
It's all fine.
And then number 9, the Carolina Panthers. Do the soundbite. Taking Anthony Richardson, the quarterback out of Florida.
I genuinely, I think every Panther fan that comments on anything we do would need to seek medical attention if this actually happened. And it's another one that doesn't make sense to me because you've got a team that's in a window because that division's so bad. Anthony Richardson should not play this year. Anthony Richardson should not play next year. He's a year away from being a year away. I'll use the Fran Fraschilla line. I understand being tantalized by the talent. I do not understand a team that needs a long-term solution and needs this to not bust. He has the highest bust factor of any player I've ever evaluated.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Horribly inaccurate at Florida. And that's kind of one of the things that that was the one thing that kind of made me feel about the Baker Mayfield pick in Cleveland, was you could point to the accuracy stats and go, well, I like an accurate quarterback coming into the league. Okay, but I still don't like the player. I never liked that pick, but that was the one thing that you could point to. You can't even do that with Anthony Richardson. You just look at the modern NFL, all these mobile quarterbacks, and look how good he is at running the football. Well, congratulations, you just drafted Justin Fields.
I mean, and there's some comps to Justin Fields. The comps are 100% there.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields was exponentially more ready for the NFL than Anthony Richardson is, and that should tell you everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Holt in our YouTube comments asked, is he better than Matt Corral? Yes, he is. Matt Corral at this point should be working at a Golden Corral. So just maybe forget that name exists. That was a horribly bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
I said it when they drafted him, you will regret that you did that. But he was such a great teammate. Awesome. I'm sure Davis Webb is too. He's missing this one big thing. Talent. It's talent. That's where you have a huge deficiency.
And see, this is where I have a problem with mock drafters. Is you have guys like this in your first round to teams that are desperate, as you said, and they need it to work. So you're going to draft a guy who's a project. I mean, even Mel said it. You can't start him this year.
You can't play him this year,
right?
And he can have a package of 15 plays. And I'll be honest with you, the more I've thought about this, the more I'm horribly terrified that what I'm being told is true, that the Raiders are really in on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know who he reminds me of? And I didn't put this together until somebody pointed it out to me. Tim Tebow. It's exactly who he reminds me of.
Okay.
He has the same cannon arm with horrid mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really athletic. He's much faster. About the same size.
Mm-hmm.
And I could easily see his career trajectory being exactly the same.
Right.
You're never accurate enough to play in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Anthony Richardson needs a team with a great infrastructure. And even though I vehemently disagree with what you said in the first hour about the Panthers, that's not who they are, especially not if they hire Steve Wilks. Because what would scare me there is, all right, you bring in Anthony Richardson, the offense works in some shape, form, or fashion, and then he has to learn another system a year from now. That's not the stability that a player like this needs. Anthony Richardson needs everything to be as settled as possible. Because if you can do that and get him in a place where he's really comfortable and he can set his feet, that's where he made most of his mistakes, is that things would break down. He would panic a little bit. They'd cut off the rushing lane, and then he would see a throw late and just go, I can throw this like a javelin to get it out there. Well, the problem is that mechanics are mechanics for a reason, because that's what makes throws replicable. That's what makes it to where you can throw that on a bead, hit it through the head of a needle from 40 yards out, is because you've done it so many times. Then you do all these off-balance sidearm things. You've done that 8 times in your life. There's no telling where that ball's going to go. Mm-hmm. That's Anthony Richardson's problem in a nutshell. And in the wrong system, you'll break him in – I mean, you break him in an offseason.
Yeah. If I'm an NFL team, I'm not spending first-round draft capital on a guy who's a project, who's a year from being a year away.
Divine Comedy said this in the comments, and I can't agree with him more. Anthony Richardson actually makes sense in Seattle. You sit behind Geno for 2 years and let Pete Carroll just absolutely mold you into what he wants you to be, and then he could be a height, weight, speed version of Russell Wilson with a much bigger arm. I hadn't thought of that, but that's a really good analysis of that.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Higher elevations to our west have had some big wind speeds today with some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts above 3,500 feet. Our low tonight, 31 degrees. And the wind's trying to settle down, change direction here into Thursday. Northwest winds Thursday, high 42, low 23. We've got some 20s for low temps again for Friday night. Next chance for rain coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue delay-free. New Leicester Highway, no problems. Hendersonville Road, no backups. Sweeten Creek Road moving well. Airport Road, no delays. Mills Gap Road, problem-free. Cane Creek Road, no backups. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher. Via Hendersonville Road southbound, drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. This winter, there are new COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. If it's been at least 2 months since your primary series or original booster, schedule your updated COVID-19 booster dose at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. We'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years, but the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a
a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, coming to you from the Ingles Studio. It's time to get weird, and, we like dumb criminal stories on this show. Usually save those for the crimes section. But I also like dumb employee stories. Dumb employee stories are always fun. And it's
always funny to me that we don't talk about these, and yet somehow we seem to be in the same area a lot.
Well, hopefully your planned story today does not come from the heart of Mickey Mouse Land.
Nope.
Disney Springs. That's that little like town square kind of place right outside of Walt Disney World. Well, the Speedway gas station had a guy who had been working there for 3 weeks. He works the overnight shift, and he got a phone call in the middle of the night, and it was from his boss's boss. The guy on the other side of the phone says, "Hey, I'm so-and-so from the district office or whatever, and we've got an emergency. We've got inspectors coming in tomorrow, so I need you to go around and I need you to do all of these things, safety checks." So he had the employee go and take a picture of the fire extinguisher so that he could get it, see that it was in date. It was not expired or whatever. It had been checked. Then he said, I'm going to need you to check the refrigeration system. And he goes and checks that and sends him a picture of it. He says, now I'm going to need you to go to the safe. And I'm going to need you to take a picture of the safe. And I'm going to need you to take a picture of all of the cash in the safe. And you're going to need to send that to me. And he says, okay.
This is not sounding.
So he did. He took the pictures, sent it to the guy. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm sure the cops are trying to figure out is who was on the other end of this phone because they got the kid into the safe somehow. So they had the code because this kid who's been there 3 weeks. I don't know that they would give him the safe code. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know what you do at the end of the night. Do you put everything in the safe? Anyway, he says, we need $2,000. And I need you to deposit it immediately. And so he tries to use the ATM in the gas station, and it wouldn't take his card. Whatever.
This is not a rocket surgeon that we're dealing with here.
No. He tried to use his card for whatever credit union, and it didn't work. So then the guy said, "Okay, well here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to the nearest bit stop." I don't know about bit stops, but bit stops are apparently Bitcoin ATMs.
Yeah, I was about to say, if this is affiliated with Bitcoin, I'm Seacrest out.
Well, you can go to the bit stop, and you can put in the account information, and then you can just put the money into that account. Now, I guess it'll transfer it into Bitcoin or whatever. So he takes $2,000 out of the safe. He leaves the store. He leaves the store in the middle of his shift.
Not a good call.
No. He goes like miles away to this other gas station that has a bit stop and does the transaction. And it was apparently at that point, after the transaction had already gone through, that he goes, you know what?
This doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
This doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I don't think you're the person that you say that you are. Well, about 5 minutes after he left the Speedway station, cop showed up and saw that there's a gas stations here just sitting completely empty. The cop was on the scene, get this, from 3:58 a.m. until 5:30. The guy was gone with an unattended gas station for that long. Now, thankfully, the cop came about and nothing bad
kept
happened.
more crimes from happening.
When the morning shift person came in at 5:30, that's when the cop left. And that's when the boss got called and said, hey, so-and-so left the store unattended, it's unlocked, all this stuff. The kid no longer works there, obviously.
No kid.
But here's the thing. they have a training in place because apparently this is a popular scam with gas stations that people will call. They'll look up the corporate structure online somehow, get the names of bosses, and then convince people to transfer them money in the middle of the night when nobody's looking.
As somebody that's been a boss for many companies, we will never, ever tell you to do something like that over the phone.
Absolutely.
Ever.
I mean, that's pretty much anything that goes with any scam. You get a phone call from somebody that says, I need you to wire me money right now. I'm going to need to do some fact checking.
Be very leery of things that people tell you to do on the phone.
Yeah, the owner of the gas station says, obviously the kid no longer works there. We had training in place. He ignored it. He could have made better decisions, and they're still efforting to try to find out who duped this employee out of $2,000.
There's a Netflix special about that. It's very hard to figure out who the person on the other end of that phone is. My story is from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. All right, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. There are 3 things that a light should do. What are those 3 things?
I'm sorry. I looked at the chat.
There are 3 things that a light should do. What are those 3 things?
Turn on.
That's 1.
Turn off.
That's 2.
What's the third one?
Don't explode.
Oh, yeah.
Don't explode.
That's a good one.
It's very important. Well, a Massachusetts high school has a lighting system that didn't do one of those things. It didn't explode, and it did turn on. It hasn't turned off for a year and a half.
Wow.
They have absolutely no ability to turn the lights off in this school because there was a glitch in the electronic system that is apparently costing the residents of this town thousands of dollars a month because they can't turn the lights off. But
it seems like a problem.
They think that it's coming to a close. This 1,200 student school believes by the end of the week they will be able to turn the lights off for the first time in a year and a half.
I'm by no means a technical person, but I feel like that's something that should be pretty easy.
I at one point in my life worked for the government, and I've told this story before. We bought a door, and it was an $8,000 door. A door has 3 functions: open, close, and lock. It didn't do 2 of those.
It didn't close or lock?
Correct. And that is why Jeremy is a steadfast believer in the 9 scariest words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
That is a scary thing. $8,000 for a door that doesn't close or lock. Awesome.
Bingo.
Awesome. All right. So are we ready for the awards? Or are we still mocking them?
No. We've got there's still a very large.
So you've still got more to mock Mel Kiper for.
I've got more in just the top 10.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're at number 10. So I hear it should. Oh, I see why. Philadelphia Eagles at number 10. This is the pick that they got from the New Orleans Saints. He's Mel Kiper Jr. We're mocking his mock. Kalijah Kancey, the defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh.
Now, I need to preface this. I'm not throwing shade at Kalijah Kancey as a prospect.
Okay.
If somebody takes him in the top 10, we need to send police to their front offices because they're being held against their will. Because that is the only way somebody's taking him in the top 10.
Okay.
He's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's also about 5'10", so I feel like that's going to be a bit of a hurdle at the
NFL,
next level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, he's ACC Defensive Player of the Year, so I'm not telling you he's not a good player, but if you take him above Brian Breeze, you need to have your head examined intently. I mean, really in an in-depth way. I saw that and laughed until I almost cried. I'm in, obviously, a lot of NFL draft forums, being the ESPN Draft Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I've been asked this question about 50 times today. Is there a snowball's chance in Atlanta that happens? No, there is not. I would say he's nice and safe for round 2. He could be the 10th pick in that round.
Okay.
But if you go 10th overall, we need to have a chat.
He's a name that I have not heard you say in any of your first round.
Because it's so short. I mean,
projects.
if he was 6'4", then yeah, that would make sense. He's never a 3-down lineman ever. And we have enough Eagles fans that listen to the show that I felt like this at least deserved us to go, okay, you just calm down. Mel was doing crimes this morning when he wrote this, because that does not make even a nary a bit of sense.
The next favorite player of Jeremy Greene at number 13 could be Jackson Smith and Jigba.
It's so stupid.
Team him up with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, the Jets need another receiver like they need another hole in the head. You've already got Corey Davis. You've already got Garrett Wilson. You've already got Elijah Moore. All right, it's not any of their fault that Zach Wilson couldn't play dead in a cowboy movie.
I was going to say, you almost had a breakup with one of those during the season.
Yeah, and then they sat down old cherub Zach Wilson, and all of a sudden everybody was hunky-dunky. Yeah, you're not taking a receiver at 13. And I can't emphasize this enough, Jackson Smith and Jigba's not going in the top 15. He'll be lucky to go in the first round. You want to talk about a pick that Jeremy could have just, a massive coronary on camera? That would be one of them.
Especially since you hate him now.
It's not that I hate him.
After the opt-out of the college football playoff.
It's not that I hate him. I never loved the I like the talent. He's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. And adding that's just really a hat on a hat. There's so many things that the Jets need. That ain't one of them. So I could see you going a lot of places. If you're telling me that every offensive lineman's on the board short of Paris Johnson and Skoronski, and they don't take one, I would be dumbfounded by that. And everyone I talk to in that organization would be too.
All right, so where else did you have a problem with Mel's mock? We're not going to give you every pick.
No. They're not really that I had a problem with it. I'm just Byron Young at 20. That seems really high to me, and I like him a lot. That seems high.
Edge rusher out of Tennessee.
That seems high to me. Quentin Johnston falling all the way to 22. That's dumbfounding to me. And then how Bijan Robinson would possibly ever get by the Los Angeles Chargers, I have zero clue.
Mel's got him going at 26 to the Dallas Cowboys. I
told you that was the drop dead spot until the Chargers lost.
Like you said, I don't see him coming, and they're stuck with Ezekiel Elliott at this point, and they've got.
Well, they're not stuck with. They can move off Zeke, and I fully plan that they're going to.
Really?
Oh yeah, they'll pay Tony Pollard with the intention of bringing in another running back to be the spellback. I don't think you're going to put a first round pick on that.
But that's a lot of dead cap, isn't it? For
not
Ezekiel?
As much as you think. It's $7 million, I think. And you get off of it, and it's dead money anyway. He's 2.5 to 3 yards a carry at this point.
Probably why the story came out yesterday from the Dallas Morning News that Ezekiel Elliott willing to take a pay cut.
No kidding.
No kidding. He wants to stay in Dallas.
And then there were two that were mentioned in this that I have not specifically mentioned in any of my mock drafts that we've done so far. Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois. I like him. I'm in like with him. I am not in love with him. And so for him to go at 14 would be a little high to me. He also didn't have Kelly Ringo in the first round, which I applaud you for that. I did not have the courage to do that. So, look, Mel's very good at this. He's also very good at getting clicks, which I feel like some of this was for. The other one's Keon White. I haven't mentioned him at any point, and I really should have, because he is skyrocketing up boards, and he will be in Mobile, Alabama next week.
Yes, and they've got Keon White going from Georgia Tech to my Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the defensive line.
Here's the bright side. He's not used to winning many games and going to Tampa Bay. He fit right in.
That's right.
Because you're not going to do much of that. And Zay Flowers, we must keep him away from the Kansas City Chiefs. At all cost, we must find a way that he does not go to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't know that that's going to happen.
It wouldn't shock me in the least. He's the kind of player they like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's also one of the best deep ball threats in this draft. In the right system, Zay Flowers could be Tyreek Hill, and it wouldn't shock me at all.
They're going to find the weapons for Patrick Mahomes. This year was a very stark example of it doesn't matter. We're just going to put some pass catchers around this kid and just watch him work his magic.
So I'm just curious. I mentioned this stat earlier. I want to see if you can get the two on the other side.
Okay.
Who are the two oldest starting receivers playing this weekend? I told you 8 of the 12 are 25 or younger.
Yeah, the oldest starting receivers this weekend. Is Juju one of them?
No. He's one of the ones that I think he's 25. If he's not, he's 26.
Okay. I don't know.
Tyler Boyd, who is 29.
Wow. Yeah, I would have gone forever without getting him.
And Corey Dayharsh got this in our YouTube comments. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who's 28.
Wow.
That's the two oldest starting receivers playing this weekend.
Interesting.
That number.
I was looking for
that number blew me away.
I was looking for like a aged veteran, and I couldn't come up with one off the top of my head, and that's why. Because
there's not one. There's not one starting receiver that's over 30 years old playing in, or that even is 30 playing in these playoffs this weekend.
Wow.
Which, I'm not going to lie, made me look at this and go, receivers do age like milk. We talk about this a lot with running backs. Wide receivers don't tend to have a great longevity past 30 either.
No, unless you're like a gadgety little slot receiver or something. I mean, you can.
John Ross and Tavon Austin. They're the two that seem to appear somewhere every single year.
I was going to go Cole Beasley and, I mean.
There are guys that make it into their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that was one of those that just kind of slapped me in the face like, man, I had never even thought of that.
It's the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Near West Canton in Haywood County, 40 westbound near Champion Drive. An accident, the shoulder closed. Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is busy, but volume is moving well. Smoky Park Highway, no problems. Patton Avenue, incident-free. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Merriman Avenue, no backups. Biltmore Avenue, moving well. Hendersonville Road, problem-free. Sweeten Creek Road, no backups. Check of the drive time from Bend Creek to Avery Creek via NC 191 southbound. Drive time 9 minutes. I'm Lee Minfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing is committed to quality and printing perfect every time. Now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more. Offer ends $225. See staples.com/store/printbig for details. Try Staples and see the difference.
It's Macy's Big Home Sale with an extra 20% off with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of great deals on fresh updates, like 30% off fluted dinnerware and glassware from Hotel Collection, and 30% off bedding and bath from Charter Club Damask Designs. Plus, save on home specials, like our best-selling Radley 5-piece sectional sofa for $21.99. Going on now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
It is ESPN Asheville. We are the Sportsocracy, and we thank everybody for tuning in with us here today. Just a few moments before the Sports Center update at the top of the hour. And in the next hour, we're going to talk about, well, we got to talk about Patrick Mahomes being ready to go. And apparently there were some people under the impression that he would not play this weekend.
Those people drink in the morning.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Because that's the only way. After watching him gut it out against the Jacksonville Jaguars, that you could possibly have thought he wasn't playing in this game.
They have the same breakfast that Mel Kiper has. Apparently.
Correct. That was never. It was, for me. It was never in doubt. I mean, look, with a high ankle sprain like that, yes, it's going to swell over the course of days, but I mean, if it was intact enough for him to play on right after it happened, the chances of that atrophying enough 8 days later is not really high, especially when you consider that there's 2 weeks between the conference championship game and the Super Bowl. I mean, Pat Mahomes he's just a tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a game that I feel like Kansas City's had circled on the calendar for quite some time.
Absolutely.
We owe you one badly.
You can only lose to a team so many times in a row before you go, okay, we got to put a stop to this. There's been 3 straight meetings now that the Cincinnati Bengals have come out on top over the Kansas City Chiefs. So clearly, it means a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, it means a lot to the Cincinnati Bengals because they're looking to position themselves as the next Kansas City Chiefs.
I did love that they had Lou Anarumo on the Pat McAfee show earlier, and they asked him with Pat being limited. I think they said limpy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look for Andy Reid to have any more of these ring around the rosy, toss back, trick play ideas? And he said, and Anarumo, I thought his answer was perfect. Absolutely. We think that's going to happen. We just don't really have any idea where it's coming from, so it's kind of hard to prepare for. So I've told our guys, if you see anything like that, just stick to your principles and guard Travis Kelce.
There you go.
Everything else is, hey, we'll figure it out as we go. But if you see something like that, you find old 8-7, and you probably figure out where the ball's going.
You know what that's got written all over it to me? Head coach in this league.
They asked him about that too. Have you gotten any interest? And he basically said, no, I'm focused on Kansas City.
And that'll be fine. But after Kansas,
that shocks me.
But if the Cincinnati Bengals go on and beat Kansas City and make another Super Bowl, and let's say they win the thing, you know he's not going to be in Cincinnati, not for much longer. Maybe
he's
another
going to be
year.
next year. Every one of these jobs will be filled by the Super Bowl.
Oh, of course they will. But maybe another year after that, he's on to his own job somewhere else. You are in the Sportsocracy, and it is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Higher elevations to our west have had some big wind speeds today with some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts above 3,500 feet. Our low tonight, 31 degrees, and the wind's trying to settle down, change direction here into Thursday. Northwest winds Thursday, high 42, low 23. We've got some 20s for low temps again for Friday night. Next chance for rain coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Near West Canton in Haywood County, 40 westbound near Champion Drive. An accident, the shoulder closed. Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is busy, but volume is moving well. Smoky Park Highway, no problems. Patton Avenue, incident-free. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Merriman Avenue, no backups. Biltmore Avenue, moving well. Hendersonville Road, problem-free. Sweeten Creek Road, no backups. Check of the drive time from Bend Creek to Avery Creek via NC 191 southbound. Drive time 9 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Wendy's knows everyone hates cold, soggy fries, so they changed theirs to serve them up hot and crispy, guaranteed, using only natural cut skin-on fries prepared to golden goodness and perfectly sprinkled with sea salt. Guaranteed to be hot and crispy. If yours aren't, bring them back and they'll replace them at participating U.S. Wendy's.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. 3 words from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes today put an end to any question about his availability for Sunday's AFC title game against the Bengals. Ready to go. Mahomes has continued to get treatment on his high ankle sprain. He said the ankle has progressed. He did take part in today's practice. Considering he's 0-3 all-time versus his Cincinnati counterpart Joe Burrow, Sunday is a big day for Mahomes, explains our Harry Douglas.
His legacy is already cemented. Now you want to start adding things to it. And when I mean adding things to it, what's on the line for Patrick Mahomes within this ball game? You get another opportunity to go play for a second Super Bowl that you want to add to your resume. You get an opportunity to keep that crown that you now wear, because it's not Joe Burrow's, it is Patrick Mahomes. You get an opportunity to keep that crown.
Harry Douglas of Fitz and Harry. Mahomes, Burrow, Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, Bills QB Josh Allen, and Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson, all finalists for Associated Press 2022 NFL MVP. NBA Anthony Davis in line to return to the Lakers from a foot injury tonight versus the Spurs, reports ESPN's Dave McMenamin.
Coming up Thursday, A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, Jamar Chase, and Travis Kelce. I'll tell you which receiver will have the biggest impact on Sunday's game. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work.
Jeremy Greene. Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
We are the Sportsocracy, the Democratic Republic of Sports, and we are here on ESPN Asheville and heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app and seen on your favorite device on YouTube. Get connected with the YouTube channel. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, get in with us in the chat, get those live alerts. Whenever we come to you from the Ingles studio, we will have full live reactions of the conference championship games coming up this weekend on Sunday. Obviously, we cannot – this is how this works. If you're new to the program, you're new to the Sportsocracy, which the latest numbers tell us there are a lot of you who were not with us in last year's playoff runs. But you watch the game at home. We'll let you know where we are in the game so you can sync up your television, because we can't do it immediately live for, legal purposes.
That's actually not true. I dug into that. That's not true.
It always had been.
It's true on the radio. It's not true here because we're not showing the game in any shape or fashion.
Oh, interesting.
There is no YouTube FCC.
Interesting.
So we can be as live as we want to be on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
We just can't accidentally let the game footage sneak into the old camera shot.
No, there will be none of that. We will have the game on in the studio. You have the game on at your house. You join us in the chat, and we'll just go back and forth.
It'll be like a bunch of old buddies just sitting around drinking cold beers.
Exactly. That's exactly what this is. Just sitting around, drinking some drinks, and enjoying the football.
I have a funny feeling we might have an appearance from Football Farley himself.
Really?
It's just just Birdie.
That could be fun.
Maybe.
That could be fun.
Might have some appearances from some other people.
Mm-hmm. Sportsocracy members who are in town, you're more than welcome to get in touch with us and schedule a drop by or come in and hang out for the entire day or whatever. We have done that in the past, and we will, ever since the first draft that we covered live, we haven't had the guy on the couch again, so that's been good.
That's always awesome.
The guy on the couch was fun in the first go-around on Facebook.
Yeah.
We had one friend that was just he was 9 sheets to the wind and just stayed on the couch talking the whole time about other stuff.
Yeah.
It was very distracting.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
We have come a long way since the days of being down in the what we didn't know then would become the bunker for our COVID days. But anyway, we'll have all the coverage of the championship games coming up this weekend. Sunday at 3 o'clock, San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship. And then, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs at 6:30 in the AFC Championship game. It is top of the third hour of the program, and we always do this daily draft. Jeremy and I go back and forth, picking from whatever category of the day. We've done breakfast fast food items, which I was really good at. We do all manner of football
How weird
things.
is that we do a sports show, and the first time that you definitively smoked me in a draft, it was breakfast meats.
Well, of course. You're the draft nerd, so we expect you to be good at football things. I have other talents. I'm good at winding the toy up and letting it go. You are the toy.
Yes. I hope that's the last time you ever refer to me that way. Sorry, Brian.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Brian Haynes in he chimed into the YouTube comments and said he actually cannot eat like he did last time when he consumed 506,000 fast food cheeseburgers. I forgot to point this out. I saw him over the weekend for the Giants game.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost like 40 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. Now, definitively, I am the tallest one of all of us, but I am also the widest of all of us.
Okay.
We went from being the fattest show in sports, pretty svelte.
Well, congratulations, Brian, on the weight loss. Obviously, I understand that, and I'll tell you more about that coming up later on in the hour. But daily draft today, we had the NFL announce the awards finalists for this year. So we're going to draft our awards winners based on who you think should win the award in each category.
And will. Because I feel really good that I know who's going to win every last one of these.
Okay. I get the number one pick.
No, I get the number one pick.
Thought I had the number one pick.
I mean, you can have it if you like. Actually, you know what? Let me cede it to you.
I thought you were going to give me the number one pick because, it's what you do. It's what you do. You give me the number one pick. You give me the easy one.
No, because I don't think you and I see the easy one in the same way.
Really?
I don't think we do.
Because I think there is there are a couple awards that hands down, yes, there's a certain player that should win it. But to me, I think it's cute that they released the finalist award for the MVP and there wasn't just one name on it. It's Patrick Mahomes. I get the Jalen Hurts thing. He took a step this year. He's got all the rushing stats to go along with the passing stats. I mean, that's fine. But in a year when Patrick Mahomes was supposed to take a step back, quote unquote, without Tyreek Hill, the dude turned in an amazing season. First overall in QBR, 77.6. He threw for 5,250 yards this year. Yeah, that passing game really didn't take a step back. Threw 41 touchdowns. He did have 12 interceptions to go along with that, so that's the one black mark on the stat line this year. But I think it's Patrick Mahomes and then everybody else. It was cute that they put Justin Jefferson's name in there. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow also got some honorable mention. But it's Patrick Mahomes hands down to me.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's the hardest one.
Really?
Unequivocally, I think that is the toughest one to give out. Now, Vegas agrees with you. Pat Mahomes he's a pretty overwhelming favorite.
Is it minus?
Oh, he's minus 750.
Minus 7. Wow.
Yeah, he's a but they also hedge that bet a little bit because Joe Burrow is only plus 600.
Yeah, he's not getting it.
I think that vote's going to be way closer than the rest of you do.
I don't even think he finishes second.
Oh, I do. Jalen Hurts missed 2 games. Jalen Hurts is not even third in betting odds. Yeah, you can't miss games and expect to be. I mean, you miss one, especially if it's I sat the last week of the season. Yeah, Jalen Hurts has no shot. But I think Joe Burrow, and he's going to get some votes, but I think Joe Burrow will be he'll be the fly in the ointment there.
Okay.
That's funny to me because I didn't do this on purpose. You took the first pick, and that's awesome. I wouldn't disagree with you on the pick. I just don't think it's the easiest. There's one that for me is quite possibly the easiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's Defensive Rookie of the Year, and it's Sauce Gardner. This is not close. Not going to be even vaguely close. And I feel like he got the 3 right. It was Sauce and Tariq Woolen and Aiden Hutchinson. That was the right 3 finalists. Now, if you have a ballot, it should be Sauce 1, 2, and 4. And then you pick which one you want to put 3, and you put the other one 5. Because every metric I have says not only was Ahmad Sauce Gardner the best rookie corner in the NFL, he was the best corner in the NFL, period. Yeah, you're winning this in just a dog walk. Do you disagree with anything I just said?
I don't. Aiden Hutchinson had a fine season, had 9.5 sacks. He had 3 interceptions to go along with it. He had that pick 6 touchdown, the first of his career. It was a great story. Tariq Woolen, not expected to be in this discussion from where he was drafted last year, but came onto the scene in Seattle and just he took over. He took over the narrative. It was a great story.
And Hutchinson's a great player. This is not a shade at him. Sure. In many other years, he would be the clear winner.
Sure, and if you took Offensive Rookie of the Year, and part of the calculation was, I guess, performance above expectation, then it's Tariq Woolen in a walk. But Sauce, yeah, I agree.
So do you remember there was a Price is Right game where a contestant would say a price, and Bob would tell him if the price was higher or lower.
Yes.
I want to play that right now with you with what are the odds that Sauce Gardner wins Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Okay.
Proceed.
What, the number?
What is the number? I'll go ahead and tell you he's a minus favorite.
Minus 450.
Higher.
Minus 650.
Higher.
Minus 8.
Higher.
1,200.
That's exactly right.
All right.
He's a minus 12. You have to bet $1,200 to win 100.
So going away, he is the favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yes, and he should be. That's not me being a homer. That's just, okay, that's the right call. There's also another one of these categories that I feel the same way about. And it's, I feel like people are going to skew this a little bit because of something you saw in the playoffs. But this is a regular season award. It's Coach of the Year. And as I've said, you give it to somebody's meemaw. It's Brian Daboll. No doubt. No doubt. Brian Daboll did more with less. The Doug Peterson thing is great, and if he gets votes, I will understand it. Kyle Shanahan, maybe not so much because you have exponentially better talent than the other two I just said. But I get why you're here.
Issue.
But I get why you're here.
Right.
Well, your quarterback issue is you lost the 20th best quarterback in the league and replaced him with a carbon copy of himself, which you just keep doing. To me, that doesn't scream, I made it to the playoffs with Daniel Jones. That's really,
I get it.
That's his. If this was a political campaign, and these coaches had to make a political commercial, that would be Brian Daboll's entire shtick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Brian Daboll, and I made it to the playoffs with Daniel Jones. Approved by Brian Daboll for head coach of the year.
By the way, biggest snub on the coach of the year finalists, it's got to be Pete Carroll, right?
I was shocked he wasn't the 3.
I was too. I mean, I get Kyle Shanahan, and the quarterback thing obviously helps his case of you kept this thing together despite the multiple injuries at the most important position in football. I understand that. But, I mean, Pete Carroll made Geno Smith look like a borderline Pro Bowler.
He is Pro Bowler.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's
Pro Bowl?
Yeah, he's Pro Bowler.
I'm going to say it again. He made him look like a borderline Pro Bowler. Not real sure he should have made it, but good for him.
Now, I'll tell you something funny about Coach of the Year odds. These have not been updated since the finalists were announced today.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the favorite right now to win Coach of the Year?
Brian Daboll.
No.
Pete Carroll.
No.
Doug Peterson.
No.
Kyle Shanahan.
No.
None of the finalists.
Nope.
Really?
Nick Sirianni, who is not even a finalist. That was just funny to me. Brian Daboll, you can't get this right now because they've taken it off the board, but at 8 o'clock this morning, you could have had it at plus 1,600.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville Daily Draft. We're drafting awards winners this year in the NFL. We gave you some pretty lopsided matchups here.
Now they're getting a little closer.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes for MVP for me, and then Jeremy goes with Sauce Gardner for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and somebody's Meemaw, Brian Daboll for NFL Head Coach of the Year. We'll continue the Daily Draft next from the Ingles Studio.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Smoky Park Highway, no backups. Patton Avenue moving well. New Leicester Highway, no problems. On the Charlotte Highway, no backups. Tunnel Road, incident-free. Sweeten Creek Road, no delays. Hendersonville Road, moving well. Overlook Road, no problems. Mills Gap Road, delay-free. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville. Via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that, and that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
And we're back on ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, found on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Don't forget to join us in the YouTube stream. Subscribe to the channel and join us in the chat. It's interesting. You went through all these lopsided, or we went through the three most lopsided awards. Patrick Mahomes for MVP. Sauce Gardner for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Brian Daboll for NFL Coach of the Year. I feel like there's another very easy one. And to me, it's Comeback Player of the Year.
So that's another one that's really hard to me. Because I could see any of the three of them winning that.
Is it, though? Your three finalists are Saquon Barkley. Obviously, he had a hell of a year for the New York Giants as they made their way into the playoffs, and he was the focal point of that offense. You had Christian McCaffrey, obviously great year, between the Carolina Panthers and the San Francisco 49ers, and he has helped vault the San Francisco 49ers to a favorite to win the Super Bowl for months now. But then there's Geno Smith. I don't think you really have I mean, I get the arguments are there, but compared to Geno Smith, who was NFL dog water before this year, I think he's your winner. I don't think there's really much debate about that.
Well, you seem to have much more confidence than Vegas does. Because Geno Smith and Christian McCaffrey are co-favorites.
Co-favorites?
They're both plus 175.
Wow.
And Saquon's plus 225.
The fact that Christian McCaffrey was able to make a comeback after 2 straight years of injury, that obviously plays into this a lot.
Because that would be my pick for it.
Five games in 2 years. We said it over and over and over again. I get it. Not saying he doesn't deserve to be a finalist. He absolutely does. But Geno Smith going from darn near Mr. Irrelevant to being one of the, top 12 quarterbacks, top 11 quarterbacks in the league, statistically speaking.
See, and maybe this is me being too literal with the award. To me, to be the Comeback Player of the Year, you had to be good at some other time too, which he never did.
Okay.
If this was Most Improved Player, which it's not, then Geno Smith would be the easy choice. It's Comeback Player of the Year.
Comeback Player of the Year.
Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley were both prodigious talents that had injury issues. They've both come back to be Pro Bowlers this year. For me, it's a toss-up between those two.
Mm-hmm.
And I would lean McCaffrey, but, man, it's close.
Okay. And then Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I'm intrigued to see which way you go here.
You know what I want to say here.
You want to say Brock Purdy, which is lunacy.
I want to say Brock Purdy. But
That's lunatic,
it's not gonna go
crazy
that way.
talk.
It's not going to go that way, but it should.
It should in no way go that way.
Absolutely.
He played half the games of the year.
The finalists, Kenneth Walker, Garrett Wilson, And Brock Purdy.
And to me, this is about as easy as it gets.
It's Kenneth Walker.
It's Garrett Wilson.
No, stop that.
Again, I'm going to say the same thing you just said, or the same thing I just said to you on the last one. You seem to know something Vegas doesn't know because they're co-favorites as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Brock Purdy's at plus 500, just
yeah,
for posterity's
he's
sake.
a distant third. I mean, the guy played started 5 regular season games. You can't really give him Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I'm very tempted.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. To me, the Jets will sweep the Rookies of the Year. I think Garrett Wilson will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Sauce he was my first pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really obvious.
For the record, I got Kenneth Walker as the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I think he will struggle, as a running back. He didn't put up prodigious numbers. He was good. I feel like you're going to look at Garrett Wilson and go, you had over 1,000 yards with the Jets, with Zach Wilson. And he just looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it could be kind of a makeup of if Breece Hall had played 17 games, we wouldn't be talking about this anyway.
Could be.
There's no could be. Breece Hall had 400 less yards than Kenny Walker, and he played 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we wouldn't
You also
be talking
talk about
this.
the rookie wall, and who knows, he could have hit a rookie wall and would have fell by the wayside. You don't know.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I am just dumbfounded that you left this sitting on the board for me, because this was the third one that I thought was just an absolute layup. It's Defensive Player of the Year, and it's Nick Bosa, and it's not even kind of close. Led the league in sacks on the best defense in the league, and he was the face of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's all I need there. To me, the only competition is Micah Parsons, and Joey Bosa beats him in every statistical category, every analytical category. I just don't – I can't say that I don't see a path to it happening, because you always have to know with the Dallas Cowboys, weird things happen when it comes to voting. But for me, it's Nick Bosa, and it's not even close.
Yeah, the thing that Micah Parsons has going for him is the versatility. The number of ways that they can use him, he's one of those players that just pops off the board. Not that Nick Bosa's not. I'm just saying that's probably where those who would vote for Micah Parsons would go.
Oh, I mean, I see where you would. I see how you could get there. I just can't do it. And Vegas is siding with me aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nick Bosa's minus 1,200 to win this as well. That shocked me a little bit, that it was that discrepant.
Right.
I mean, I'm not necessarily the betting guy. I am. Plus 650 on Micah Parsons is. I've seen me throw money at stupider things.
It's not a bad wager if you want to take a flyer. I was nominally shocked that Hassan Reddick did not make the list of finalists.
He played 45 snaps a game.
I mean,
and who's he supposed to unseat?
I get it. Look, Chris Jones is phenomenal. He had 15.5 sacks this year.
He led defensive tackles in every statistical category.
Absolutely. Hassan Reddick, though, playing on the limited snaps, he was still pretty damn special.
Well, the thing that gets him is that there were other players on that defense that put up stats as well.
Well, yeah.
And you would get pilfered by Bradbury and Slay and Brandon Graham.
What was it, 4 players on that team had 10 or more sacks?
Yes, I think. That sounds right.
And Hassan led the way, but again, playing 45 snaps a game. That was situational pass rushers, not very high on the Defensive Player of the Year ballots.
I think I said Joey Bosa at some point. Nick Bosa is the one I'm referring to.
Yes. I knew who you were talking about.
Did I say Joey?
I
confuse them constantly, so apologies.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of cheat here, but I'm not going to. Actually, you know what? I am going to.
You are going
Assistant Coach of the Year is Ben Johnson. It's not even kind of close. Shane Steichen is the only one that I think is even in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And look at what Steichen had to work with versus what Ben Johnson had to work with. You made Jared Goff a thing.
There's only been one other person in the league that's done that.
His name was Sean McVay.
Exactly. It's pretty good company to be in. So I get it.
There's another one I really like, but I don't think you're going to take it.
You had some pretty good choices, or some pretty good options to work with for that Detroit team. Is he the odds-on favorite in Vegas?
I don't know that they have this one on the board, but I will look.
It is kind of an outlier category.
That one is not on any board that I can find. So
interesting.
You can find somewhere to bet it. Just give me a day. I was today years old when I knew that was a thing. So,
all right, I'm going to go Offensive Player of the Year. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP, but Jalen Hurts is the Offensive Player of the Year. I feel like this is kind of the way this usually goes, is somebody who doesn't win the MVP typically gets the nod for Offensive Player of the Year, unless you just had the unbelievable, no doubt, all-timer kind of a year. You know, had Patrick Mahomes only thrown 3 interceptions this year compared to the 12, he probably won them both. But with Jalen Hurts, I feel like he's going to be the Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL this year. Threw for just under 4,000 yards, had 35 total touchdowns, but over 700 yards rushing and 13 rushing touchdowns. That's the kind of offensive performance on the ground and in the air that gets you the overall award like this.
I agreed with everything you just said until I didn't.
Until you didn't.
Until I didn't. And I will tell you why momentarily.
Okay.
You have one more pick left.
Oh, I do. I do have one more pick left. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go Assistant Coach of the Year, and I'm going to go with Shane Steichen of the Philadelphia Eagles because of Jalen Hurts' performance, because of the turnaround that we saw. I think Shane gets the nod for me on that one. Love Ben Johnson. Love the Detroit Lions. I went full baseball there for a second. I'll take Shane Steichen as Assistant Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I just said that I agreed with you on everything you just said about Offensive Player of the Year until you said the name, because it's Justin Jefferson, not Jalen Hurts. Because everything you just said is completely right, except they tend to use Offensive Player of the Year for the non-quarterback.
Aha.
It's happened before that was a quarterback and not the one that won MVP, and Jalen Hurts is a great example of that. Justin Jefferson's minus 800 to win this thing right now.
Really?
Yes. Led the NFL in receiving yards. Had one of the most prolific receiving yards in prolific receiving seasons in NFL history. That's where I feel like they slide the.
Mm-hmm.
You had all of that right until you said because I was sitting here going,
Hurts.
"Oh, I should have just went ahead and did it." And then he said Jalen Hurts, and a little part of me went, "Yay!"
Yay! Look, Justin Jefferson's season was good statistically, but all in all, it was a failure. He came out at the beginning of the season, said he was going for the record, and he didn't get the record. So you got to hold that against him.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The most important message of the day coming next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Higher elevations to our west have had some big wind speeds today with some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts above 3,500 feet. Our low tonight, 31 degrees, and the wind's trying to settle down, change direction here into Thursday. Northwest winds Thursday, high 42, low 23. We've got some 20s for low temps again for Friday night. Next chance for rain coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is busy and steady, especially on the westbound side. Merriman Avenue, north and southbound near W.T. Weaver Boulevard, expect delays. Biltmore Avenue moving well. Meadow Road, no problems. Amboy Road, no backups. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, light delays approaching Mills Gap Road. Checking the drive time from Mills River to Hendersonville via NC 191 southbound. Drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
No one has the same taste as you.
You damn right.
From the music you love to the podcasts you can't live without. And only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Make 2023 the year that you change your life and you win that battle with your weight problem. It can happen for you. I mean, I've said this time and time again in my life. I'm going to do better this year. I'm going to lose the weight. 2022, that was the year for me. The PhD weight loss program helped me lose more than 90 pounds last year. PhD's the way to go.
Many people in the new year say, new year, new me. The only problem is that they use a lot of the same tendencies, which leads to new year, same you. Sometimes you need a little help, and that's what PhD gives you. They give you plenty of the food. They give you all the direction, all the guidance. If it works for a guy like me that was as lazy with my food choices as I was, it will work for you. PhD weight loss.
I lived all of my adult life around the 300-pound mark, and now I'm down around 200 pounds, and I feel infinitely better, as you can imagine. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. It's myphdweightloss.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you, where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
It is the Sportsocracy, and it is time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Greene.
Don't do crimes!
And the reign of terror of the high-heeled hijacker has come to an end.
I'm really glad you said that correctly, because that could have gone wrong in several different ways.
Could have gone sideways. 58-year-old Lisa Marie Coleman has been arrested by the FBI. They dubbed her the high-heeled hijacker because apparently in one of her armed robberies, she was wearing a fancy dress and some high-heeled shoes. And so the FBI likes to play this little game. They like to name their bandits because it gets the public juices a-flowing. So when you hear, oh, here's Lisa Marie Coleman, we want her for a string of armed robberies, you go, call somebody the high-heeled hijacker? Alliteration, baby. I've told you it works every time. And, so this woman apparently knocked off a grocery store. She knocked off a bank. She hit one other business and also just randomly would show up and get guys to, obviously, she would target the guys, and she would get the guys to take her somewhere, or she'd pull a gun on them and make them go to the ATM and take money out and then give it to her. Here's the weird part, though. She wasn't really arrested on any of these crimes. She was arrested for tax evasion. They did the old Al Capone on her.
2 things that all of us have to do. They pay taxes and die.
They pick her up on tax evasion, and then a tip comes in, and they go, oh, wait, this is the same person. So they didn't even know she was the high-heeled hijacker when they originally arrested her. Found that out after the fact. And now their target is now a guy who is called the Pocket Square Prowler. They love their alliteration. This is a guy who dresses in fancy suits and knocks over banks. Like he's John Dillinger or something.
Indeed. My story is about something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
Beer.
No, but you're close.
Ah.
If you've ever been in the Village Porch or any of these anywhere else with me and I'm consuming domestic lights, what is that very quickly followed by?
Fireball shots.
Bingo. If you have been, I don't know, around gas stations or any of these different places around America in the last few months, you've noticed that maybe your state doesn't sell liquor drinks in gas stations. And yet, here's the party pack of Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
I've been asked this question no less than 100 times. I already knew this. I just did not know that there was going to be a class action lawsuit about it. The woman that filed the suit, her name is Anna Marquez. And she discovered something because she's quite the little gumshoe sleuth. If you look at the bottles that you see in a gas station, they say Fireball Cinnamon, which is different than the bottle that you buy in a ABC store that says Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. That's because the law states that anything above 16.5% alcohol cannot be sold in gas stations.
Yes.
If you have an ABC commission. Well, Fireball found a little loophole around that. So the thing you see at the gas station is 16.5% malt liquor.
Mm-hmm.
That's sellable in gas stations and all the things. What you find at the ABC store is 33%, which means it's 66 proof.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the problem. Fireball didn't tell anybody that, so some vendors have been getting completely duped by this and selling one as the other.
Oh.
And apparently she got duped by it. Now she's suing Fireball. Would you like to guess what they're seeking in compensation?
$14.3 million.
You're too high. That's the only way you ever do this game. You either shoot it way too low or way too high. $5 million. And frankly, I think I need to get in on this class action suit because while I was in Miami, as you do, you have a domestic light, you have your beverage of choice.
Mm-hmm.
I figured this out because I looked at the bottle and went, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
I still bought it. Didn't taste good.
Was it in a gas station or was it in a liquor store?
Well, in Florida, it's the same. You have some overlap of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you have corner stores, and it doesn't really tell you because they have both.
Right.
And as soon as I drank it, I went, something's I don't like that at all.
But you saw it and went, that's a hell of a deal for Fireball.
No, I saw it and went, I don't know what you did here, but I don't like it. And I actually told Amy, Florida Fireball doesn't taste like home Fireball. I didn't know I didn't go down the rabbit hole because I didn't really look at the bottle. I just knew it was different. I couldn't figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have a call to Fireball.
Do you now?
I do. We're not celebrities by any stretch of the imagination. However, I'm a very vocal proponent of your beverage, and I don't want to get involved in this lawsuit that seems sticky and has a lot of things involved in it. I'm just saying, I'm not a hard man to find. Maybe you give a fat guy a call. Maybe we work something out on the old DL.
I see where this is going.
Maybe we come up with something, a little side hustle maybe. Who knows? Maybe I could be the face of Fireball. Who knows? I feel like this is the face of Fireball.
100%.
Actually, hold on. Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
The face of Fireball. Yeah, this is going to be a visual gag, so those of you who are not tuned to the YouTube channel, you should probably do that.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it right now, you can go back and, of course, see the episode after it is over. YouTube.com/thesportsocracy.
I feel like this is the face of Fireball.
He had to take the mullet down to make it, yeah. I think you have too many teeth to be the face of Fireball.
No,
honestly.
no. Fireball is that is the appropriate alcoholic beverage of party boys, frat guys, mulleted men, basically just people that we want to rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I feel like you're not the face of Fireball because you and maybe 4 other people are the only people over the age of 22 that still drink Fireball.
Well, here's the thing. I am a 35-year-old man. I am divorced, and I live on top of a bar. I am the face of Fireball.
It's the only representative that you will ever find for your company that actually sweats your product.
100%. People ask me if I chew Big Red all the time. Nope. Hadn't had a stick of it in 20 years. But I taste it on a daily basis.
On a daily basis. All right, so the crime here is false advertising?
Apparently, which is it's dumb. Okay, you're buying Fireball. Calm down with your $5 million compensation. $5 million compensation could buy your whole neighborhood, okay? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm one of you. You are my people. Just calm down on $5 million, okay? That's a lot. That's a lot of damages because you didn't. Okay, you saw something at the gas station that you like, and you went, "I'm going to buy that." Just buy it and enjoy it. Saved you a trip. Be nice to Fireball. I don't like hardly anything else, so don't ruin this for me.
The soon-to-be NFL MVP, Patrick Mahomes, obviously there are questions about his availability this week, or at least some had questions about his availability this week after the high ankle sprain suffered in last week's playoff game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Questions were, is he going to be good to go? Well, Patrick Mahomes met with the media earlier today, and guess what he said?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm good to go.
Hey, guess what? If you were betting on me not playing, you might as well set that on fire.
I mean, I don't feel like this was my spiciest take ever, but Monday I told you there's no shot that this guy's going to miss the AFC Championship game. I don't care if you have to go through some Kurt Schilling type, surgery right before in the locker room right before kickoff of the game. You're going to figure out a way to get Patrick Mahomes on the field. You're not the same team without him, and everybody knows it. Now, it's good news that he is giving the good news that he is of, I expected it to be a little bit worse. Monday morning, I woke up and it was sore, obviously, but as the days have gone on, it's getting a little better. It's in better shape than I thought it would be. Obviously, he's going to be hampered by the ankle. I don't think there's a way not to be. You can't stabilize an ankle that much.
No, but Stephen Tow in our YouTube comments said he's going to get the Bud Kilmer treatment. I mean, we all know that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a conference championship game. Patrick Mahomes is not going to miss this.
I got 3 weeks. Yeah. I got 3 more weeks to play on this ankle.
I think it affects him throwing deep down the field. I don't necessarily know that it changes the offense that much. Other than now, I fully believe you're going to see way more of these Andy Reid sleight-of-hand magic tricks. And in an AFC Conference Championship game, I'm here for it.
And I don't know that you weren't going to need those anyway.
I don't either.
Against the Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't either. Am I the only one that's looking way more forward to one of these games than the other?
No.
I feel like the NFL staggered this perfectly.
Yes, because they give you the preamble to the headliner.
Well, this is okay. I mean, and I hate to make another food reference after I just went on a diatribe about Fireball. I feel like this is the Olive Garden, and the unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks is the first game. I'm not saying it's not good. It's probably the reason I'm here. But then the thing I'm going to go tell people how wonderful it was the tour of Italy that is coming afterwards.
Mm-hmm. You just have, I don't know, and maybe it's recency bias, or I don't know. Maybe it's just the bias of NFL fans today. What's the one thing that we value above all else? It's touchdowns. It's touchdowns. It's highlight plays. It's offense. It's up and down the field. And you get that each and every time when the Kansas City Chiefs strap it up against the Cincinnati Bengals and vice versa. These teams go after each other, and they're going to be able to score a lot of points.
You get two of the best tacticians in the league in Lou Anarumo and Andy Reid going up against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, that's no lacking matchup either with Steve Spagnuolo and Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan.
Mm-hmm. But in the first game of the day on Sunday, what's the headliner? It's the defenses. You have two of the best defenses in the NFL going head-to-head. And, yes, you have offensive pieces. I'm not saying that they're, completely boring teams because they're not. But the defense is the headliner of that game.
One of my favorite stats of this weekend, do you know the difference in the over-under of these two games?
No. I have not looked at the numbers.
You feel like one of them is going to be much higher scoring than the other, right?
I would believe so.
There's 1 point separating them.
Okay.
The over-under in Kansas City, Cincinnati is 47.
Over.
Philadelphia, San Francisco is 46. Say it. You want to. And you're right.
Over.
Under.
Under. Okay.
Under.
Very convinced of that.
Stephen Dow in the YouTube comments said the Chiefs and the Bengals will score more points in one quarter than the Eagles and 49ers will score in the whole game.
Potentially.
You give me the highest scoring game of the first one, I would say it outscores the second one.
Mm-hmm.
That line feels odd to me. After the break, I want to ask you a question about that.
Okay.
Who does that so Vegas is basically telling you that Philadelphia, San Francisco is going to be higher scoring than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that help? Does I have a funny feeling we don't see that the same way?
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstates are moving problem-free on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume is busy, especially on the westbound side. Smoky Park Highway, no delays. Patton Avenue, no backups. New Leicester Highway, problem-free. Hendersonville Road, no incidents. Sweeten Creek Road, moving well. Long Shoals Road, no delays. Airport Road, no backups. Charlotte Highway, incident-free. Checking the drive time from Fairview to Fletcher via Cane Creek Road. Drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Hey, this is Peter Schrager from the NFL Network's morning show, Good Morning Football. You've also seen me on NFL Sidelines and in studio for Fox Sports on Sunday. Well, I've got a new podcast with iHeart in the NFL, and we're calling it The Season with Peter Schrager. In each episode of this season, I'm going to empty my proverbial notebook and take you inside and behind the scenes on the conversations that happen at the highest levels of NFL franchises. Listen to The Season with Peter Schrager on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Shop limited time deals at the Truckload event at Lowe's, happening now. Save big on your favorites across the store. During this event, get up to 50% off select tools and accessories. Plus, find the perfect floor tile for your home for less. Get up to 50% off select styles while you can. Head to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowes.com to shop the Truckload event today. Valid 12/29 to 1/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowes.com for details. Discount taken at time of purchase.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. We'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. It is the Sportsocracy coming to you live from the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. Closing out today's program with an important question from Flostradamus Jeremy Greene.
So I feel like Vegas is telling you there's going to be more scoring in this game.
In the San Francisco Eagles game?
Yes. Does that not lend more to San Francisco than it does to Philadelphia? Because I saw that number, and Philadelphia's a 2.5-point favorite.
Okay.
I would have thought if Philadelphia is the favorite, which I'm not averse to that, by the way, I would have thought that number would be lower. Because if I'm Philadelphia, I don't want to get into how many times do I have to score on your defense. San Francisco is the best defense in the league. And to me, it's not even debatable. I don't see that pandering to Philadelphia. And I know that sounds weird because one of them's got an MVP candidate quarterback and one of them's got a rookie.
Yeah.
I also have way more weapons than you do. I've got Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, and that's a lot for you to deal with. I am perfectly suited to stop you because I have two of the fastest linebackers in the NFL, and I have probably the best pass rusher in the NFL.
See, I looked at that and went, if it's a higher scoring game than I expect, then I think it favors Philadelphia.
So that means you think Jalen Hurts, who we have railed on for not being as good as he's looked because he's been up against bad teams all year long, what you're saying there is if one of these teams scores 28 points, which, by the way, to get to that number, you would almost have to, you would say that would be Philadelphia and not San Francisco. I see no shot Philadelphia scores 28 points on San Francisco.
Really?
None.
Because they're going to turn the ball over?
No, because I don't see anybody scoring 28 points on San Francisco. Nobody. Okay. I don't care where it's played. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter. That, to me, feels like Vegas is hedging their bets on something.
Okay.
And as we talked about, we do a gambling segment that goes across the Southeast. I think the hedge on that is that's what they believe the score will be. But they feel like the money's going to come in on Philadelphia because that line's at 2.5, which is not even a full field goal. And people will go Philadelphia.
You might be right. There have been 3 teams this year that have scored 28 or more points against the San Francisco 49ers. Would you like to take a wager at who they are?
I have not a clue.
Well, the first one of the season was the 28-14 loss against the Atlanta Falcons. Then
that was either with Trey Lance or that was really early in the season. No, that was Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
That was Garoppolo, and he was just awful.
Because Trey Lance got hurt in the second game of the year.
Yes, that was Garoppolo, and he was just awful.
Kansas City Chiefs, who beat them 44-23. And then the Las Vegas Raiders in that 37-34 game.
And I don't see any of the issues those teams gave you being issues that Philadelphia's going to give you.
I looked at scoring more points, and I went with the quarterback that I trust most.
And usually I would go with you. I just think this game might be an aberration there.
It very well could be. We'll have more of the coverage of the championship games coming up in the next 2 days as we get closer to our live reaction coverage. It'll be solely on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel today so you get the alert when we go live on Sunday. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Higher elevations to our west have had some big wind speeds today with some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts above 3,500 feet. Our low tonight, 31 degrees. And the wind's trying to settle down, change direction here into Thursday. Northwest winds Thursday, high 42, low 23. We've got some 20s for low temps again for Friday night. Next chance for rain coming our way for Sunday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstates are moving well on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume is busy, but no heavy delays. Smoky Park Highway incident-free. Patton Avenue moving well, and New Leicester Highway, no delays. Hendersonville Road, no backups. Sweeten Creek Road moving well. Mills Gap Road, delay-free. Cane Creek Road, no backups. Charlotte Highway, problem-free. Tunnel Road, no delays. Check the drive time from Waynesville to Lake Junaluska via US 23 Business northbound and Asheville Road. Drive time 10 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win.
This report is...
I got no sympathy for it.
Weekdays on the iHeartRadio.
The closers on.
Podcasts.
The truckload event.
Based on the leading bargain liquid.
1663. Western North Carolina at 85.
Online.
Tax Extra.
I never write reviews, but Nevada. Clean nose, healthy life.
All the
Well.
See here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
No backups or incidents on the interstates. Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume remains steady but moving well. Smoky Park Highway, delay-free. Patton Avenue, no backups. New Leicester Highway moving well. Hendersonville Road, no delays. On Brevard Road, no backups. And Overlook Road moving well. And on the Charlotte Highway, no delays. US 74 East near US 23 in the vicinity of Haywood Community College, an accident reported. Checking the drive time from Clyde to Canton via US 23 northbound, drive time 8 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Jackson Hewitt gets you your biggest tax refund guaranteed, plus a chance to double your refund or win weekly prizes with their Double Your Refund sweepstakes. File your taxes on the double. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Ends 4/2/20.